getting nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Cardinals get a win last night, historical moment, as they played in Rickwood Field in Birmingham. And I thought the broadcast was well done. I thought the pregame was well done. The interviews and stuff during, the entire broadcast I thought was outstanding. And we'll get to the game coming up at 2:15 and some of our thoughts on the game. But what was like the biggest takeaway? What stood out to you guys at Rickwood Field last night?
Well, I thought the coverage of the game was fantastic. I thought that the people involved with the production of it and the guests that they had, the way they built it up, I thought it was really well done. I absolutely loved the way they went head first into bringing it back, the time warp. Like the outfield, the signs are like the 1940 Chevy sign. They didn't skip one detail in making this, an authentic experience. I loved the half inning of black and white.
I thought that was great. I
thought it was super cool.
And I don't know how you felt, but I felt so appreciative of having TV in color, the way that, all the different TV angles and everything. I appreciate how far we've come technology-wise.
It was wild, but it was still fun to watch that.
No question.
And then, of course, the historical value of the whole evening overall. I just thought it was awesome. I thought they did it perfect.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome as well. Like you said, the in-game people that came in, like Bob Kendrick, listening to him tell stories about Willie Mays and Satchel Paige. I always enjoy hearing him talk about, the former Negro League players and how they really laid down the pavement, the groundwork for some of these players that are able to play now. And it was, I just thought it was a really cool experience for the players that were there. Brendan Donovan, who's from Alabama, had a really good night. So, I think it was all in all well put together, a great experience and a great game for St. Louis fans and Giant fans.
Carey, quick question for you, because I think our listeners know by now, Anthony, myself, and Andrew are not black.
Really?
Okay. We're not. Oh. Sorry, Anthony. I know it's shocking.
When did they figure that out?
And Carey, I don't know if you know this. Mm-hmm. You are.
Kind of.
So,
for 42 years, actually.
No, but honestly, last night when I was watching some of the things going on, I thought of you, and I thought to myself, I wonder if this is impacting Carey. I wonder how it impacts Carey. And so I'm just going to pick your brain.
Listening to Reggie Jackson, watching that video, it moved me in a way, because I think sometimes that's forgotten. And if you haven't heard the audio, please go find it.
We're going to play it for you.
Yeah, you should hear what he had to say, because it was so impactful what he experienced. And I think sometimes that gets lost. We think we're so far removed from that, but here he is still remembering the experiences that he has. And as a black man, the experiences that my grandmother had, that my great-grandfather, who was from Decker, Tennessee, learning about his grandparents who were slaves. All of that, it doesn't just go away after one generation or two generations. That is lingering. And so, the traumatic experiences that people face and that they have gone through, like Reggie Jackson spoke about, that's something he never will forget. Mm-hmm. He can't get those memories out of his brain, no matter how hard he tries. And I'm sure that has been passed along to some of his family members, his experiences, and that kind of shifts the way people move and how they think. So I thought all in all, it was just great to hear his experience, because I think sometimes that's forgotten in such a great moment. Oh, it's so awesome. This is great. This is not so fast, my friend.
Right. The reason why we're here.
The reason why we're here is because of what was actually happening at this time. And, Reggie Jackson talked about the Birmingham church fire. I actually went to that church. I went to visit it. And when I was in Birmingham a couple of years ago, it's moving to experience what those players, those men, those women, those children went through during that time. And it wasn't all fun and games. It was a survival thing. They were trying to use this sport to make their lives better, but at the same time being treated like crap. And just for being able to play a game, or just for being in a place with people that did not look like them. And so I think, all in all, that moment was so moving for me. And the entire game, I loved the experience. I loved the throwback uniforms. I loved seeing all of that. But just listening to him, really, it hit me so much that I almost cried, man, listening to it, because I just know the experiences that we share as black people is often different from the experiences that you all share. Like my mom used to work for Jeff City, and this is 10, 12 years ago. We went to Jeff City to the Capitol and went in the building, and my grandmother cried because she was like, when I was a little girl, I couldn't even be on these steps. And so that's my grandmother. You know what I mean? So that's how...
That's not that far removed.
It's not that far removed. And so people always say, oh, that was a long time. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. There are still people that have experienced those things, So, yeah, Ruby Bridges is, I think, 5 years older than my mother, and that was the first young lady that was integrated, was part of the integration for schooling. So, we ain't that far away from it.
Well, Carey had referenced the Reggie Jackson audio. If you haven't heard it yet, this is so powerful. Here's Reggie Jackson pregame last night between the Cardinals and the Giants. The audio is courtesy of Fox.
How emotional is it for you to come back to a play that you played with one of the greatest teams around?
Alex, when people ask me a question like that, it's like coming back here is not easy. The racism that I played here, the difficulty of going through different places where we traveled. Fortunately, I had a manager and I had players on the team that helped me get through it. But I wouldn't wish it on anybody. People said to me today, I spoke, and they said, you think you're a better person? You think you won when you played here in Concord? I said, I would never want to do it again. I walked into restaurants and they would point at me and said, can't eat here. I would go to a hotel and they say, then can't stay here. We went to Charlie Finley's country club for a welcome home dinner, and they pointed me out with the N-word. He can't come in here. Finley marched the whole team out. Finally, they let me in there. He said, we're going to go to the diner and eat hamburgers. We'll go where we're wanted. Fortunately, I had a manager, Johnny McNamara, that if I couldn't eat in the place, nobody would eat. We'd get food to travel. If I couldn't stay in a hotel, they'd drive to the next hotel and find a place where I could stay. Had it not been for Raleigh Fingers, Johnny McNamara, Dave Duncan, Joe and Sharon Rudy, I slept on their couch 3-4 nights a week for about a month and a half. Finally, they were threatened that they would burn our apartment complex down unless I got out. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. The year I came here, Bull Connor was the sheriff the year before. And they took minor league baseball out of here because in 1963, the Klan murdered 4 black girls, children, in 11, 12, 14 years old at a church here and never got indicted. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. At the same time, had it not been for my white friends, had it not been for a white manager, and Rudy, Fingers, and Duncan, I would have never made it. I was too physically violent. I was ready to physically fight some. I'd have got killed here because I'd have beat someone's ass, and you'd have saw me in an oak tree somewhere.
Again, that was Reggie Jackson, and it was a powerful moment. If you watched it, whether you watched it live or you watched it afterwards, you say, "Yep, okay, this is why they're here." And there was a lot of pageantry, it was a very positive night, and it should be because there is a reflection.
Well, I think the
period.
fact that there's a game there now with all the athletes, with I think that's the positive,
right?
Yes.
And even though that wasn't that long ago, we have come a long way, and this is how far we've come. However, that was important. I got 2 things here. One. And I will get to the part where he mentions about Dave Duncan because me personally, I've experienced listening to Dave tell his own version of those stories. So think about being, we're all we're fathers. Marsh, obviously, you've got a family. Think about your family member being in trouble or somebody doing harm to your family member, right? Like, we'd all be behind bars. Just thinking about it. Think about somebody saying something to us, even as stupid as it is. Like, sometimes we get some people that take things personally in the text line, right? And you're like, all right, relax. Think about somebody saying something to you because of your skin color. You can't do anything about your skin color, and somebody is saying that to you. So for Reggie Jackson to talk right there at the end about how violent he would be. I don't blame you one bit. There is nothing you could. This is the skin color. This is what God gave us.
Yep.
Right. We can do things. We can talk about. All right, you did something to my kid, my family member. Here we go. But your skin color?
Yeah.
Dave Duncan has told those stories before. Chris was so proud of his dad for so many reasons. Chris often he would talk about Reggie. Hey, can you tell the Reggie Jackson, the story about you guys playing together? And Dave was always begrudgingly, because obviously that was a moment too that I'm sure he didn't want to talk about much. But he has told those stories before about being on the road with Reggie and how they would band together as a team. If Reggie's not allowed here, we're not coming to your establishment. Right. We're out.
Right.
And that was always a very proud moment for Chris, and I hope Dave is proud of that as well. It's unfortunate that it had to happen that way. I love that Reggie also pointed that out, too, about I had friends that were also there for me, despite the fact that I went through just horrific circumstances.
Well, you just wonder, too.
Just to play baseball.
Yeah, but you wonder, like, had he not had Dave Duncan and Raleigh Fingers and the guys he's talking about, is there a Reggie Jackson then? Like, do we have a Mr. October? Because that's the beginning, man. When he's played, like, that's not like halfway through his career.
Right. That's not Mr. October.
No.
That's before his career. That was
before.
minor leagues.
That's
before he even started. And to experience that, to try to, he probably, not probably, I'm certain he had it much better than, the average person that was trying to be a teacher or the person that was trying to be a lawyer or a doctor or, work in a factory, whatever the average black person that was doing those jobs, because they also had to face that type of racism and go through those things. He fortunately was a great baseball player then and was allowed to, be in certain areas where he had people there to protect him, people that did not look like him. But there are a lot of people that did not have that on their side.
He probably, though, had a lot of people who hated him twice as much.
Oh, definitely.
Because they weren't as talented.
I'm sure.
And he was a hell of a baseball player. Like, jealousy is a terrible thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, to your point, like, some of the average workers probably had it bad, but they weren't, playing in front of a whole bunch of people watching. Like, I don't know. I can't even fathom going through some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just like the fans on the other side, too, like having to deal with them and playing through that adversity. Like, I think what he said sort of essentially started off the night, and I think it ended up being just a really cool night. The stories that were told throughout the night, I think that's why we love sports and why we love baseball, because there's so many awesome stories to be told. Obviously, this one it has sadness and then there's triumph in there.
It's important, though.
It is. But that's why we love baseball, because there's just in sports in general, like I just said, to overcome adversity. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, sports is what unites us.
And I think that for Major League Baseball, Fox, and all parties included last night, even if you're just a person who lives in Birmingham or someone who is black back then, not a baseball player, just living in that area, and they got to see that last night. I think it was a great celebration. Like, the beginning of the game was raw. Yeah. It was real. It was raw. Reggie Jackson, like that stuff hits home for anybody. Yeah. But then as the game went on and people were into it, it ended up being a good baseball game. It turned into, to me, it was like the evolution of all of it encompassed in one baseball game, to where things were so bad. And then all of a sudden, you get to where we are today. Nothing's perfect, of course, but we had a situation last night where we had to celebrate all of that.
I agree. I think just bringing it all back and allowing those players to go back to that area and to have black players on the field alongside white players and all playing and not have, I'm sure, what was taking place in the 50s and 60s and the slurs and the words that were being spewed out and not having to have teammates support one another in that way. I think it was a great night for baseball last night.
That's Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. All right, what were our biggest takeaways from the game? A 6-5 win for the Cardinals, a big night for Brendan Donovan.
Carey
cashed his play last night and bet the board. We'll get into the game takeaways next on 101 ESPN.
a high drive to deep right field, and Brendan Donovan, an Alabama native, crushes a home run. He is the first Alabama player to play in an American League, National League, Major League game here at Rickwood Field. And how about him going deep? 0-2 comes home. Donovan reaches out and gets to it, flips it into center field for his third hit of the game. Drives in Burleson, and 3 for 3 for the Alabama native.
Fox on the call last night. Brendan Donovan had himself quite a night in the Cardinals' 6-5 victory. He was 3 for 4, scored the 1 run, 3 driven in, had the home run, which you just heard. And again, the Cardinals win 6-5 over the Giants.
I mean, come on, right? He's a triple away from the cycle. What is he doing?
He's not trying.
Be better.
Yeah.
Good night, not a great night, okay?
There's good and there's great.
Yeah,
no, you're right, Carey. You're absolutely right.
He played very well.
He certainly did, yeah. Got me 3 points in the home run derby, too, which was huge.
There you go.
I might be in last place now.
No, I was pretty far behind.
I wasn't far ahead.
Well, we'll find out later when we play. Actually, we won't play today, will we?
Nah.
Should we play for tomorrow's game? Even though we don't know the lineup?
Play what?
Oh.
Home run derby?
That would be
fun. No. Marsh is a stickler for the rules.
This guy, every time
Marsh is a stickler for the rules.
because he doesn't because he knows that if your guy isn't in the lineup and he comes up in a pinch hit situation, now it's 10 points. He's the leader. Well, actually, Jamie's leading as well.
We're tied.
Hey, you can decide. How about that?
I'm just saying.
I'm good with whatever.
We have never done this.
Anthony,
so because
I like
Anthony's
to
in
risk
last
it.
place, that's why we want to do this, or he wants to do this.
He's not the only one, Marshy.
Well, you too. You're battling for the last spot.
For the basement.
Okay, so Carey and I are trying to get back in this thing.
Then we'll do this every.
I
we might as well pick Sunday.
I would think that you would try to get
Andrew.
further ahead.
We could do a weekend thing. So if there's a game, we just pick the whole weekend instead of just one
So
game.
the player you pick is for both games.
For both games.
Ooh.
I will allow
I run
that.
the risk.
I'll
I
allow
actually
that.
like that.
I kind of like that, too.
We can implement that starting now.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
Well, this doesn't really happen all too often, though. We usually don't get Friday night games off.
That's true.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
but
look.
we still always have Saturday, Sunday games.
Right.
So
But what I'm
either way,
saying
even
is,
if the Cardinals played tonight, we could still pick Saturday and Sunday.
You get that player all weekend.
Yes.
Right.
Your Friday pick
night.
is your trifecta.
so what I'm saying is, like, this probably won't happen again, so I'll allow it. You know?
Oh, he'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
You know what? Don't do me any favors, okay?
Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
I know
can
people
from him.
I know
appreciate
people that say things like that. I'll allow it. Like you're like what?
Right.
Hey, I have the stat
I'll
sheet.
allow this.
I can fudge the stats.
Don't you be doing that Michael Jordan style. Okay?
It wasn't Michael.
In due time.
No, it
It
wasn't.
was the stats guy.
Yeah, it was the stats guy.
Fairness to him.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
We certainly will. All right, biggest takeaways from last night. So, to me, look, it's all about the offense. The offense came alive last night, wound up getting the 6 runs, and you needed every bit of it. But outside of Brendan Donovan, you also had a huge night from Alec Burleson, who went 2 for 3 and scored 3 runs. Paul Goldschmidt had a hit. Gorman had the 2 sacrifices
great
early
job.
on. Cost Jamie.
RBIs?
Jamie was not happy last night with the fact that Donovan sacrificed
productive
himself.
outs. You don't like those are 2 productive
They
outs,
were.
Jamie.
I still don't like
2
him.
of them.
I didn't like it.
Produce the run.
I'm like, never mind that.
2 times.
Just get a base hit, buddy.
I was upset, too, with
team
Palante.
game. He got over 3 strikeouts?
At 5.
He had 5. Yeah. Ali, you got to pull him. You pull him at some point. But outside of the offense, what else stood out to you guys, if anything?
Andre Palante going, what was it, 5 and a
5 and a
third?
That was big.
That was big. That was. We didn't know what to expect going into last night. He had a pretty good night and allowed that team an opportunity to win the game. He gave up 5 runs, but we scored 6, so we were able to win the game. And I thought that was a really good outing by him because of what he has done in the past couple of starts. So I thought he did a really good job.
Well, how about Kloffenstein, too?
Yep.
How about Ollie on that one? This is how I envision it going down, is Ollie, he's coming out of the bullpen. Ollie's like, hey, kid, congratulations, Major League debut. Historical Park, one of the most historical games ever tonight. Here, largest audience watching right now. 1-run lead. Good luck.
Yep. he tested Palante like that a couple of years ago, where he brought him in. It was a start that Miles Michaelis didn't pitch well.
But dude, this was his major league debut.
I know, but hey, let's see what the kid's got.
Were you surprised that Kittredge came in so soon, like to replace Palante, or?
Yeah, I thought
because that seems more of a
later inning, sure,
type of role for him, has been at least.
Yeah, and maybe so. We just joked about it, but maybe it's a situation, and I feel like Ollie's been doing this a little bit more, where he's bringing in guys to see if they can handle the 8th inning or the 7th inning of the tight game.
He has to find something.
He's got right. Yeah. He can't. He's well aware of not using JoJo Romero every single time or Andrew Kittredge every single time. How do you know if a kid's going to be able to handle a situation if you don't give him that moment, that opportunity? So I think it was great. I mean, Kittredge, King, Kloffenstein, 0 runs. They only allowed 3 hits combined, 4 if you include Helsley. I thought that was an excellent job by the bullpen too, because that Giants team, you don't recognize a lot of the names, but there are a lot of young guys. I mean, that Heliot Ramos, the one just got over yesterday, but he's got, I don't know, like 11 home runs now on the season. He hasn't been up all year.
That was a weird
He's
one,
got
too.
10.
Because it was down and away.
Backspin.
And,
yeah,
shouldn't have been a pitch that he could take out of the yard.
No, he's a kid, too. He's 24 years old. He's been in the Giants system. I think they found him on the international market when he was like 16 or 17, and now he's starting to really rake. So, again, the Giants, offensively, not great, but that was big from the bullpen last night to step in like they did. So the Cardinals are now 37-37. Not the criteria that Carey's looking for to get back on the bandwagon. He said, what, 4?
5.
5 games above 500.
We're not there yet.
But you do have a second-place team. 6.5 back. Just chop wood. Just continue to chop wood.
Yep. Be patient, like my shirt says.
Be patient.
Ryan Helsley was really good, too.
He was.
Gave up he's
I got a little worried. I'm not going to lie.
All good closers make you sweat a little bit.
I tried not to panic, but he's pitching filthy. Like, he's amazing. The ability to change speeds, locations, all of that, up, down.
Going to get a lot for him at the deadline.
I mean, that's actually what I was thinking.
What?
You're going to be in it.
The whole as is the entire National League. What do you got, Marsh?
Either way, you're still in.
I was just going to say, let's be positive. They won a big game, national stage.
Absolutely.
Let's just revel in that for at least, 3.5 more hours, and then come Monday, we can get back to our usual shenanigans.
No, listen, you know what this sets up? This sets up a sweep.
I like that.
Here
Game 1.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's go.
What's trending is next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals win 6-5 over the San Francisco Giants last night at Rickwood Field. We talked a little bit about last night's game and what stood out most about last night's broadcast and everything surrounding last night's game between the Cardinals and the Giants. The Cardinals are off today. They'll take on the Giants tomorrow as Miles Michaelis will take the mound, going up against Jordan Hicks. First pitch tomorrow is at 1:15. Tonight you can listen to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. Florida taking on Edmonton. Florida still one win away from hoisting Lord's Stanley Cup. We'll see if they can get it done tonight. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up. But coming up next, we have What's Trending. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Anthony, you're waving your finger.
Yeah, Carey had a bad idea in the break.
Horrible idea.
There is no such thing. Well,
It wasn't his idea. He was just
my
backing
idea.
a
I was
horrible
reading
idea.
an idea,
Yeah.
and you all shot it down. So,
Yeah.
forget you guys.
Yeah, shut it down with a bazooka.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of my airspace.
It needed to be done.
That's what you say, fellas.
Anyways, I have a question for you.
I got a question.
I have a question.
One, the answer is no. Do you think you could hit a Satchel Paige fastball?
How fast is he throwing?
Over 100.
Yeah, no.
How many opportunities do I get?
Yeah, one at bat.
Oh, no.
One at bat.
Yeah.
It would take me
No.
probably 30, 40 pitches to even realize when to swing.
Yeah.
No. The answer is
The
no.
answer is
for
obviously
us
no.
Human
For
beings.
unanimous, no.
Yeah.
Never have played a Major League Baseball
Yeah,
game. The
right.
answer is no.
Do
For
you
somebody
think
else.
Barry Bonds could
Yes.
hit
I
his
do.
fastball?
You know why I get frustrated with people when they talk about Barry Bonds, because it's almost like you forget that he was a 3-time MVP before all of the other
Before
things
he hit
that took-
puberty?
Yeah, you will go with that. Allegedly, right?
Yeah.
Before he found the benefits of flaxseed oil.
Allegedly, flaxseed oil is a good thing.
And,
supplement, it gets you going.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Flintstone vitamin.
Everybody was
Sosa.
taking the Flintstone vitamins. So what difference did it make? Right? If we're all taking the vitamins, why are you so mad at him? He was already great before we all decided to take these vitamins at bedtime. He's doing a good job.
Those were really good.
Those were awesome. You're chewing them.
good.
You take 2. You might take 5.
I did that. I was like, I wonder if 2 is bad for me.
Those things anymore?
What's that?
Do they even make?
Yeah,
They have
some.
to.
Yeah,
They
I
have
think
to.
I think we
have to
got
pick
some
some
for
up.
the kids
Something
at
as
one
iconic
point.
as that just doesn't
Yes,
disappear.
No, yeah,
Barry
it-
Bonds was great. 7-time MVP, 3 of those before we got on the vitamin track. And everybody talks about him like, oh, he didn't take the vitamins. He wouldn't have been. Are you stupid? He was great before. The hell are you talking about? He was great in a Pittsburgh Pirate uniform.
Yeah, so the vitamins helped him
But it helped everybody, Anthony.
stay on the field longer.
But it helped everyone.
I know,
You
Carey.
take the
I'm with
vitamins,
ya.
they make you feel better.
Don't
with
let him
ya.
do that to you, Carey.
He's not gonna.
I was going to say that I think his numbers before the steroid era may have
The
landed
vitamin
him.
era.
The vitamin
Yes.
era. Excuse me.
He's gonna be a Hall of Famer before
and
then.
vitamins.
And vitamins. His numbers before the vitamin era, I think, were like he was a borderline Hall of Famer before that.
Well, that was Mark McGuire, too. His numbers, like, he still was a home run machine.
Yeah.
He became a really big home run machine
There you
following
go.
that.
I
but-
mean, well, you know,
Bat used to
But
look
the
like
big
a
and
toothpick.
Big Mac.
2 of them were with the Pirates, not 3. But it was his first year in San Francisco. So it's not like
That was 94?
93.
93.
He hadn't started taking his vitamins yet.
And he was...
That was like 96, 97.
And a lot of people are like, well, look at the park he played with the wall. He played in Candlestick for like 7 years before they moved to, I think it was Pac Bell, and then it was AT&T, and now it's Oracle.
Well, anyways, I asked that question because Derek Jeter asked Barry Bonds and Ken Griffey Jr. if they could hit Satchel Paige. And, well, just take a listen to this.
Tell me right now, on the spot, what would you do against Satchel Paige?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Gone. You lost your mind, Jeter. Gone. Simple. Gone. Read about it on ESPN, Fox News, whatever else you want to talk about. You got to believe in yourself. If I don't believe in me, who going to believe in me? That's right.
My only thing with Barry is that he lacked for confidence.
Nah, never. Said no one ever.
He's always so insecure with how he could play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He didn't believe in his abilities.
And then Ken Griffey Jr. said he would bunt and try and beat him out.
Ken Griffey is not telling
the easy way.
Ken Griffey is not telling the truth. He was going to swing for the fences.
Oh, yeah.
He's just being polite.
He said drag bunt.
People have to understand that as good as Satchel Paige was, as good as Nolan Ryan was, like, pick your pitcher from your era. Barry Bonds had all of the best pitchers in his era. Name them, and he took them yard.
And they were walking him with bases loaded, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who the hell do you walk with the you know what? We'll give you this run. Go ahead and go to first base.
Yeah.
We don't want to face you. We'd rather give you 1 than 4. Don't worry about it.
And the opposing team won that day, too.
Yeah, like, that was a smart move.
Yeah,
like,
they
that
walked
was
him
the
with the bases loaded and they still
you
won.
know what? Walk him. We don't need to face him. What the hell are you talking about?
Right.
This is the frustration I get about Barry Bonds. He is one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and we just dismiss him like he doesn't exist. And that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Said it during a pre-show meeting. There's only a couple players I ever stopped what I was doing to watch an at-bat. McGuire and Sosa during the 98 home run chase, and Barry Bonds.
Yes. Through his entire career.
Just stop and watch. Maybe a little of Judge a couple of years ago. When they were breaking in. Yeah, when they were breaking into like football game, like college football games and stuff. There was that moment too. But Bonds, there's a book called Love 'Em or Hate 'Em, or I'm sorry, Love Me, Hate Me was the name of the book. It is incredible because it goes through the surly aspects of Bonds, some of the quiet things that he used to do that he never got recognition for, some of the charity work that he used to do. Talked about him as a teammate and how bad he was at times as a teammate, how great he was at times as a teammate, like the whole gamut. Barry Bonds was just an enigma at times. But they used to talk about how he used to sit there in spring training games at times with teammates later on in his career. And he used to tell the teammate before the pitch was coming what pitch it was. And he was right like 9 times out of 10. That's how good he was at anticipating what a pitcher was going to throw based on who that pitcher was, the batter, how he's going to approach. Bonds was a baseball player through and through.
Yeah. Oh, he's a hell of a player. I mean, come on.
He was.
And you don't have to be a good guy when you're that great. That's
There's
just kind of how
there's
the
a lot
rules
of
go.
bad people in the Hall of Fame.
I mean,
hell of baseball players, there's a lot of bad.
There's a
I don't
lot
know
of
that he
bad
was
people that suck at baseball, too.
Very true. Well said, Jamie. Which team winning the Stanley Cup is best for the NHL? Because you got Game 6 tonight.
They're not in it.
This year.
Yeah, this year,
okay.
Jamie. Yeah, Game 6 tonight. We'll have it. Oilers, Panthers. Which team winning is best for which team winning the Stanley Cup is best for the NHL? We'll have that discussion next on 101 ESPN. 6 tonight, Oilers, Panthers. We have the coverage for you. Pre-game starting right here on 101 ESPN at 6:30. And then we'll have the game for you, 7 o'clock puck drop in Alberta. All right, boys. Which team winning the Stanley Cup is best for the NHL?
Ooh.
Kind of an interesting
The Oilers.
debate.
So now, hang on. Before we dive into this, Marshy, you had a vision for this segment. So
Marshy had a vision.
He did.
Marshy had a vision.
And so, why don't you fill us all in here?
Yeah, fill us up.
Well said, Jamie. So there's three
With your knowledge.
different ways to view this. First of all, you look at it from like a marketing standpoint, and I think we probably maybe say the Oilers, maybe not. Also, you look at it from just these two teams in general. Who does it benefit more? And then the third point, which Jamie also helped. We were discussing this and whatnot from the viewpoint of other teams around the league.
Okay.
So there's three ways of really looking at this.
So 3 categories.
So if we just try to unpack the first one, like for the NHL, who is better for them? What's the better scenario?
All right, so Carey, you said Oilers. Why?
Because of the force of Game 7, because the greatest player in hockey right now is on the Oilers, and you want to market your sport. Your best players winning championships usually is what elevates it. You can sell, and not that you can't sell the Panthers, but it's almost like the Detroit Pistons in 2004, right? They're a gritty team, but they're a team. The Oilers with Connor McJesus, what we like to call him winning a Stanley Cup, I think it lifts the league a little bit higher, and more people can bring more eyes to it because he's such a great player, such a high-profile name. And again, in order to win it, they got to go 7, which is going to bring more eyeballs to it. And you win that game, say in overtime, and he scores the game-winning goal, out the roof. I think that would be amazing.
I'll go last. Anthony?
All right, so my viewpoint on this might be a little different. It's whatever one could build a dynasty. And I don't know if either can, but in sports, I think it's important to talk about dynasties, both from a greatness standpoint and a villain standpoint. We look at this with the Patriots. People got so tired of watching the Patriots, who started off as an underdog story, unfortunately for us here in St. Louis, but they started off as an underdog. And then they grew into like the Patriot Nation, and they became hated. It was important for the NFL. It's important for any storyline. You need a villain. You need somebody to root for and against. Red Sox. Again, unfortunately in St. Louis, in 04, they were the underdog story that broke the curse. By 2007, they're like, I hate all of Boston. Their fans. Stop winning. You're a nation and you're annoying. They became a bit of a villain. I don't know from a roster construction standpoint, because you have talked about this, Jamie and Marsh. I don't know if the Oilers can become a dynasty if they can win. They're going to have to start trading off some guys here to because they got cap implications. But if there's any team out of the two that can become a dynasty, I think that is the best case scenario, because you need people kind of appreciate the greatness, and you need a villain in the NHL.
So I said the Oilers. That's sort of how this segment came to be. But then Jamie, which you're going to tell us what you think, said something, and it really kind of stuck with me. And I think I agree with him.
What did you say, Jamie? What did you say?
I said, I'll never say that again, and I held a baseball bat up.
Whoa.
It spikes on you.
No, so here's what I think. For the NHL, the best case scenario for the National Hockey League is for this to go to a Game 7. Connor McDavid certainly highlighted everybody, not even a non-hockey, everybody's watching that game because it's dramatic. The NBA is over. Football hasn't started. Baseball's got 162 games. So everybody be watching that Game 7. But it's best for the NHL if the Florida Panthers win. Here's why. You don't have to sell hockey to Canada. You don't. Everybody is already glued to their TV set. They can't wait for the first snowfall to start the backyard rink and to get out there and play in the street.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
When's that hit? Like July?
It depends where you're at. Yeah. But so the Edmonton Oilers winning, it's not like, oh, that's going to really grow the game in Canada.
Right.
No, it's already sold. Like Canada's begging to get another NHL team because they love hockey so much. Why does the league not do it? Because it's not beneficial to the growth of the game, because you don't have to work to grow the game in Canada.
Sure.
But when the Florida Panthers win, another non-traditional hockey market, Gary Bettman, goes, great. Now we can move a team into Houston. Now we can move a team into this place. Like,
makes sense.
Non-traditional places.
Yeah.
And all the eyeballs, because it's a Game 7, all eyeballs will be watching the Florida Panthers. Florida? Honey, did you hear that? They got a team in Florida. They don't have ice there. Right? So the NHL is like, Connor McDavid will drag everybody's eyeballs to the game. Then Florida wins, and people go, damn, that hockey's pretty cool.
That makes sense.
So for me, from that standpoint, it's better if the Florida Panthers win.
That's interesting. All right, so we kind of have different takes on it.
Now, for the rest of the league, who does it benefit? Because, Anthony, you just mentioned it.
Like a dynasty?
Both of these teams, they're probably not going to come back with the same team. Maybe they do next year, maybe they don't, but definitely in the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see different rosters.
Okay, but let me ask this. What Matthew Tkachuk isn't going anywhere, right?
Correct.
Okay. Connor McDavid.
Got 3 years.
Okay. Well,
Not going anywhere.
not going anywhere for 3 years. But he will be gone in 3 years.
Leon Draisaitl will be gone after next year.
Okay. Florida is the odds are Florida will have most of their roster for a couple of seasons. They may have to break some of it up, but the mainstay will still be Matthew Tkachuk, right? Will they also have a couple of other pieces that are that like Sam Bennett? I don't know all these guys' contracts.
Bennett's got 1 more year after this year.
Okay.
You brought up Montour.
Yeah, what about Brandon Montour?
He's gone. He's going to be looking for upwards of $8 million a year. Florida can't afford that.
The Patriots were ever changing. The two mainstays were Belichick and Brady. So if Matthew Tkachuk's going to be there for a while, if he has an opportunity, because they were in it last year.
And Barkov's going to be there for an eternity too. I think he's got 7 more years at $10 million a year.
So I think it's the Panthers.
Those are the two guys. The Panthers, quite honestly, those two well-rounded players, Barkov being probably the best two-way player in the NHL. You can kind of fill in the gaps with some of the other guys.
Yeah.
But when you lose Draisaitl, and the Oilers really don't have that number 1 defenseman. Like Evan Bouchard's got a lot of points this year, but he doesn't match up. Like he's not a matchup guy against the other team's top players. Darnell Nurse has been terrible, and he's locked in at $9.2 million for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So the Oilers, to me, are still susceptible to a roster crash like after this run.
I think it's important for teams to go on runs. Quite frankly, I think the NBA is lacking right now in overall villains. You got Draymond, but Draymond's almost likable now.
That's because the entire NBA are too friendly.
Exactly.
They all played AAU basketball.
Who was it? Dylan Brooks. So Dylan
He's not
Brooks,
good enough to be in.
Is that right? Is it like we were all like, "Whoa, look at this guy," because he wound up being a unicorn. Dylan Brooks never would have made it in the '90s and the '80s in the NBA. Like you would have never known who Dylan Brooks was. He would have gotten destroyed by the Pistons, Knicks, or Bulls, like in those. So I think the NBA lacks in that. They don't have a true villain, whether it's a team or a couple of players. You have to. Villains are always more interesting than the hero. Always.
I do think the NHL does have a really good villain. They're not in the Stanley Cup, though. They were last year, and that's the Vegas Golden Knights. If the Vegas Golden Knights make it back, they have they're trying to repeat. They buy all these players. They're essentially, to me, not the same as the early 2000, the late 90s, early 2000 New York Yankees, but they kind of feel like that in this modern day Cap era.
Well, they told that they were supposed to suck, and they never sucked. They never went through the pain. So people hate that.
Yeah.
They just automatically fooled the system. And people now, because they fooled the system with the way they work teams with the expansion draft, people are still angry that they're fooling the system with the LTIR money and all that. That team's never been legit. They've always been cheating. So, yeah, I'd say that's a good villain.
John and the Snake Pit. The NBA is hated. John, that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah. Stalter may not realize that because of Tatum, but they are hated everywhere else in the country. Are you talking about the Celtics?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the NBA as a
Jason Tatum. No, Patrick made a different. The Celtics are hated. LOL. You said, and Patrick said Stalter may not realize that because of Tatum, but they are hated everywhere else in the country.
There's a lot going on in this
There's a lot.
But Patrick, they're hated. Why? Because not a lot of people like Boston fans. And
Yes.
what I'm talking about is the team. I don't think Jason Tatum is hateable. I don't think that Jaylen Brown is hated. Marcus Smart was, before he was traded, he was somebody that I think a lot of people really loved watching because he was the Energizer Bunny. I think what you're talking
People hate
about
Boston.
is
The city.
They hate the fans.
Exactly. They hate the fan base. Marshy Stash, tremendous point. We'll end on this. Anthony, the Winter Soldier was a villain, then a hero. That's perhaps your best villain. Okay.
You love a good anti-hero.
Of course.
And
Yes.
one more thing before we go here. You got to remember the biggest point of all this, the Florida, Edmonton, your dynasty, legends never die.
Well said, Jamie.
I get
Nailed it.
Josh Ennis was on these airwaves again earlier today, and boy, he brought up an interesting point about the Cardinals.
Uh-oh.
He also continues to steal our points here in the fast lane. That's next on 101 ESPN. Massive price discounts, all available at Auto Centers Nissan out in Herculaneum. Massive price discounts of up to $20,000 off. Auto Centers Nissan, they're fantastic, man. They give you financing options for everyone. No payments for 3 months and no down payments available on select new Nissan and used inventory right now at Auto Centers. But one of the things that I love about the Auto Centers teams is that when you head out to Herculaneum, it's one location. They have over 700 vehicles right there. You can check them out on autocentersnissan.com, but you don't have to bounce around. You have to go to certain locations. That vehicle, thanks for coming in, but it's actually at our other location. No, at Auto Centers Nissan, 700 vehicles all in one lot. Select new Nissan vehicles are available at 0% APR for up to 60 months. So you have great deals going on. Plus, as always, 30-day new car return promise. If you're not completely satisfied with the experience in the vehicle, bring it back within those 30 days, and you'll get your money back, no questions asked. Complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and eligible used vehicles, and the complimentary 1-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. That's all available at Auto Centers Nissan. Check them out online at autocentersnissan.com.
What is it with this damn town and media people trying to find a line of demarcation to let you know that the Cardinals are the best team in baseball since blank? And how do we determine that that is the date that is the line of demarcation? Oh, because that's when the Cardinals started playing well? You know what date they use for that is the Sunday, May 12th, Mother's Day, against Milwaukee. Well, you forget that they lost the first 3 games of that series, and they were like 7 games under 500 before then. But because the Cardinals essentially had 2 good weeks of baseball, they were 11-4 for 2 weeks. Because of that, people in the media here are spending time trying to convince you that the Cardinals are better than they are. And the reality is, they aren't.
That was Josh Ennis earlier today. Balloon party. Already on 101 ESPN. Now he's next door, right behind us here.
Yep.
Casey. Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that hurt was when he just lumped all of us into that media.
Yeah.
He basically said, you people, which I don't like, Carey. I don't like that at all.
Not me people.
Carey came at you too.
Yeah. He said media. Media in this city.
That has stated that since said date is when you should view this Cardinals team.
Right.
I've been pumping the brakes on that for a while.
Here's my issue with that, though, is I never said that's when you or how you should view this Cardinals team. I just stated that since Mother's Day, they've been one of the best teams.
1-8 out of 10.
I didn't say this was what the Cardinals are.
I feel like I've been kind of beating that drum. I was playing the drums. It took me like a couple days to figure out that what Carey was saying.
I was about to say,
was right.
Marsh, you and I, best friends to the end.
Yeah.
You and I disagreed big time on this.
Yeah.
Remember, we were going back and forth that one day.
Yeah, for sure.
And I said, you got to look at the entire body of work. And you said, no, it's what they've done recently.
Yeah.
And then credit to you, when they dropped 2 of 3 to Miami, you were like, screw it. Let's take the whole body of work here.
I gave him a shot.
Yeah, you did.
And he spat in my face.
You gave him a shot in the arm playing their Sounders, too, when they didn't deserve it.
They did not deserve it.
But they won
they did win. And I said earlier that let's have fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about them right now, go easy on them.
Okay.
What?
Not Josh. Talking about the Cardinals.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I thought you meant Josh. I was like,
Josh can handle it.
Josh wouldn't want us to go easy on him.
No.
He'd like it hard.
No. Absolutely.
First and foremost, well said, Jamie. He's not wrong.
Thank you.
He's not wrong.
Oh, Josh.
Yeah. I don't understand why we only cherry pick when we want to use.
Because it makes you feel good, Anthony.
Look at my team.
It does. You know what, Carey? It does.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Instead of warm and fuzzy inside.
It's not the truth, though. Tell the truth.
It's not the truth. It's not a true depiction of what you've seen. Like, what you see is a team that is 6.5 games, 7 games below the top team in the division. That's who they are. And you see a team that is in the middle of the pack with the rest of the National League, which stinks. At least the Cardinals are they're at 500. They're not above yet. They're at 500, where I think 8 or 9 teams are under 500.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. You got that going for you. But, 2 or 3 games here or there, you could be at the bottom of it. So
hold on. After this weekend, they're going to be up.
Well, that's what you said.
They're going to be above 200.
You also told me that
above 500.
You also told me that in the Miami Marlins series, and I think you're a liar.
All right,
so
Carey, you didn't let me finish. I said they're going to be above 500 after this weekend. 2 games above 500. Then they'll be 500 again sometime next week.
How many times have they been? What's the highest they've been above 500?
One game.
Is it 1 or 2 games? Have they gotten to 2 games yet?
I don't believe they have.
Okay.
I'd be willing to bet some money on it's 1 game.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't think they've been higher than that.
It's not great, fellas. I don't know if you're paying attention.
That's because this team isn't great. They're not good. They're not terrible. They're not even bad. They're average. We've been saying it for weeks. They're an average team.
Right. Since Mother's Day.
Okay. Don't do that. The other thing is, building off of what you guys were talking about with the, makes them feel good. It does. You want to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Why not be realistic about the things that you see?
Oh, Carey, come on.
Why not be?
Come on.
No, I'm not speaking about you. I'm not speaking
all right.
about you. Why not be honest? Like having delusions of grandeur is awesome, but at the end of the day, like what you see is not as it's delusional. Like you're not seeing a team that is equipped to be 5, 6, 7, 8 games above 500 right now. That doesn't mean that it can't happen, but you haven't seen. I mean, I get it. Have faith. Things you haven't seen, I get it. You can believe, but at the end of the day, watch and pay attention to what's in front of you, and make sound decisions based off of that. And again, to this young man's credit, this handsome lad, it took him time. And when you're younger, sometimes it takes you time to recognize and realize things. But he looked me in my eyes 3 days ago, and he said, "You know what? I get it. I get it now." And I'm so damn proud of him. Come on.
Thank you.
Wait on the rest of St. Louis to look me in my eyes and say, "I get it. What I'm seeing ain't good enough right now. I need more," right? You always want more, Jamie. You should.
Absolutely.
That's what we ask for. That's it. It's not too much.
Well said, Carey.
Thank you.
To your point about feeling good, I was thinking about this last night before I put my head on my pillow. Late night thoughts.
For about, 3 hours or so?
Yeah. By the way, I had to be up at 6 a.m. this morning.
You did great.
Which is a few hours before I actually go to sleep.
Marsh had to be up at 6 a.m.,
Anyways,
Anthony.
Yeah.
Once.
So before I went to sleep, I had this thought. And,
He just stays up that long.
I should just pull a Donnie Fandango, just stay up 24 hours.
Wait until you're a parent and you're like, do I sacrifice my health just to get an hour of stuff that I want to do? Because there is a choice. I can stay up and I can watch this show or this movie.
For me.
Yeah. And I know I'm going to have to sacrifice my health. Like my heart, my brain. There's going to be damage done over time. I will be miserable tomorrow.
Yes.
Do I want to watch this TV show right now? And usually you do.
Yeah.
And then you hate yourself.
I have thought about
parenting.
The way that my sleep schedule works right now. I think, my future child will be asleep and then wake up and I'll still be awake.
Yeah.
And then it'll go,
right.
The child will go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I can go to sleep. But I'll already be up.
You know what?
I've
Hey,
tried
Marshy,
that.
honest? No, hang on. You're right.
Oh, man. You got to figure it out.
Right, I'm not going to do that. Good work, buddy.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Good luck.
The child will that baby will cooperate. No issues.
Oh, yeah. As soon as you go back to sleep. Yeah,
Work out just like you said.
Yeah, no.
So the thought I had before I went to sleep was, we'll talk about these people that feel this way. They want to feel good, and I wonder if St. Louis has been, I'll say, slept on. I feel like the Cardinals don't get enough credit compared to some of the other teams around Major League Baseball. Maybe not right now. Obviously, they're not that great, but over the years, and I wonder if fans they want to feel like they're important. And so they're putting all of their stock into the Cardinals, trying to figure out ways to make the Cardinals look better than what they actually are, because they want to feel. Are you talking about St. Louis fans specifically when you say this? No. I'm just saying. Well, it could be any fans, but I wonder if there's a section of the fan base that it could be, subconsciously.
Those are positive people.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if these you just want to feel like your team should be in the same conversation as like the Yankees, the Red Sox, like all these bigger market teams. And because we've had so much success and now we're not having it, you just want more of that. And so you start nitpicking certain statistics to make your team look better. Can you cut the mics for a second? Anthony, it was just a thought I had before.
No. Can you just, because I'll tell you exactly what that is, but you're going to have to cut the mics.
Okay, Anthony, your microphone is off.
Carey's talked about truth and understanding the truth. What you're talking about is insecurity.
Interesting.
Yeah, people, not you. What you're saying, like when the people are like, "Hey, I want my team to be,"
or like when you clap for the other team.
Okay. Whoa! I can't believe your friend said that and you bring it back up.
What I said was, it hurts, but it's like there's a lot of truth to it, and people may not even realize, like, oh yeah, he's right. I'm not being. What you're talking about is insecurity,
and I'm not saying everybody feels that way.
I need the Cardinals to be in the same conversation as that because it'll make me feel good.
Yeah. Or maybe they just want to win championships, Anthony.
That's true too.
Maybe there is a desire.
Carey.
There's a desire here because you have won the second most championships in Major League Baseball to only the evil empire. There is an expectation, damn it.
That's not what we're talking about, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I'm with you on that.
I was going.
Yeah,
that was good.
I'm with you on that.
That's the expectation.
We are talking about the people who look at this team now.
Yeah, what do you
say,
don't look at this team and expect that?
Since Mother's Day.
Keep saying that you expect it every single day.
Since Mother's Day, they're this. Why can't people talk about it? That's the insecurity I'm talking about.
Because you had eyes and you saw what happened before Mother's Day.
Yeah, us.
Didn't you?
And a lot of our listeners.
They have the little blinky thing and erase their memory.
Right.
Right. What is it? Nebulizer.
The neuralizer.
Nebulizer.
My son has a nebulizer because he's asthmatic.
Sir, that gentleman over there just saw an alien.
We call him Petey the Penguin, and he sits there. And,
yeah.
Take your nebulizers for if you know about today.
That's what they are doing. It's easier to get a nebulizer than neuralizer.
It really is. Yeah, nebulizer.
Sit on that mask.
I'd like one of those right now. To forget last season.
There you go. All right, Mike, turn those, Marsh, turn the mics back on.
Oh, yeah. They're back on.
All right.
We are going to talk about something that's going to absolutely infuriate our very own Carey Davis. That's next on 101 ESPN. right, Carey, you ready?
Oh, man. Yeah.
You know what? Before this segment starts, I would just like to say it's about time that we get the truth, just period.
Somebody who was talking about that, the truth, recently.
Tell the truth.
And I think it was our very own Carey Davis. We'll find out how much he likes the truth now. Yahoo Sports did a deep dive, a closer look into Michael Jordan's 1988 Defensive Player of the Year award and how it has raised questions about how legit that season actually was. So Michael Jordan, as we know, tremendous defensive player. But just how much was he head and above shoulders above everybody else in his Defensive Rookie of the Year season, that 87-88 year? As it turns out,
I can feel the heat coming off of Carey right now.
Jamie, let me finish.
Okay.
As it turns out, research has been done, and it looks like Michael Jordan received the absolute biggest home court bump from the statisticians that worked at the United Center during that year. Home stocks, the 36 games that he played at home, he had a 5.5, what was it for steals? Yeah, blocks and steals. That's what it is, blocks and steals. He had a 5.50 average at home that year. Same amount of road games, 3.02.
Hey, he elevated his game for the home fans.
182% difference.
What?
Home and road. In basketball, the home statistician used to give a bump to the star players. This is for the entire league.
Allegedly.
But more so for Michael Jordan than any other player that year.
To me, it sounds like he just got a good night's rest in his own bed at home.
I don't know.
So
traveling on the road, just look cumbersome. You get tired.
36 minutes, by the way. I said games. I meant minutes.
To dive into this, what year was that, by the way?
87-88.
Okay, so in the 80s and early 90s in the NHL, if you score a goal, there's possibility of 2 assists. And not every game was televised. Very little record of a lot of those games, quite honestly.
Yeah, no social media.
So the home team, if there was a goal scored and the referee only said 1 assist, well, there's no way you're leaving that blank on a home game.
No.
Somebody's getting an assist over here. And it would usually be someone with one of the best players.
Right.
Because they're trying to get somebody like...
Yeah, elevated.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who these players were, but yeah.
Sounds like the GOATs.
They called them phantom assists.
Yeah. That guy wasn't even on the ice.
Pretty much. And it did happen more than once. You go back, you're like, that guy wasn't even on the ice.
How he thought about it, though. He thought about making that pass, and therefore...
But he would have made that pass.
He would have, had he been in there.
So, Carey, your thoughts on Jordan being a fraud?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. The article that Marshy sent, it said something about, is LeBron, is he chasing a ghost? Or is it worth it?
Somebody doesn't exist.
Something that doesn't exist. So, Marsh and I were having this conversation earlier, and I said, in most of the awards that a player can win, despite playing, 6 years less than LeBron James, Michael Jordan is ahead of pretty much all of those awards that you can win. You know what I mean? Like, what scoring titles? LeBron got 1. He did 1 time. Jordan's done it 10 times.
MJ.
He did it 10 times. Yeah, but we'll start with scoring because LeBron is the scoring leader. Right? That's the most important stat, right? That they like to talk about. Defensive Player of the Years, we just talked about that. 1 versus 0.
Wow.
Jordan versus
more like
Carey.
0.
I pick a different one right now.
Let's keep going. NBA championships, we already know the number there, 6 versus 4, Michael to LeBron. All defensive teams. So even though he won it 1 year, Michael Jordan did, the defensive player of the year, how many times has he been on a all defensive team? That'd be 9 compared to LeBron's 6. So even if you wanted to, throw that season away and say he still was probably all defense, 9 times versus 6, that's a lot. 3 more times. Final MVP 5 to 4 for MVPs. Finals MVPs 6 to 4. Hey, we can do this all day. The greatest player of all time is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. There is no debate there. I mean, maybe you can debate with people y'all you want to. He's the greatest player to play the game. Had he played for 20 plus years, LeBron James wouldn't be close in points. And so let's call it what it is. It's a career. He's had a longer career LeBron has in terms of the years that he's played. He's had a great career. That doesn't take anything away from him. But he's not a better player than Michael Jeffrey Jordan. It's just what it is.
Oh, he went middle name.
Yeah.
Wow.
Twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
MJ also, I will say, I'll back Carey on this. His Space Jam movie was way better than LeBron
better
James.
than LeBron James.
Anthony will never
Space
know
Jam.
either of
Yeah,
them.
he won't.
I didn't. Yeah, I won't watch either. Well, people kept telling me,
the
you
second
got to watch
one's
Top
terrible.
Gun. You got to watch Top Gun. I watched Top Gun for about 15 minutes. I go, what's
What
the
was your
deal?
take on that, Anthony?
Don't
I
tell
thought
us.
it was.
We'll pass. Yeah. Do not.
You know, Jamie.
We don't care to hear your assessment of either. No,
I don't know if you speak for the group.
I
Carey.
know we're trying to work on Monday. Let's continue.
Not Anthony.
He's not here
I'm
anyways.
off Monday through Thursday next week, so I'm sure you'll clean up the mess I'm about to make. Sure. No, I thought it was. It wasn't what I thought it was about.
What did you think it was about?
It was about a guy in an airplane.
Well, multiple guys in the airplanes.
Two guys in a cockpit.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the whole movie. I didn't realize it was. It took it in a direction that I wasn't expecting. So. The worst Western Conference contracts in the NHL. Carey, by the way, great breakdown. I agree, Michael Jordan.
I think absolutely.
Yeah, despite the article. Interesting article nonetheless.
Oh, for
That was
sure.
at Yahoo Sports. Yeah. The worst Western Conference contracts in the NHL. We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals defeated the San Francisco Giants last night, 6-5 at Rickwood Field. We talked a little bit about last night's game. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Cardinals are off today. They'll take on Jordan Hicks and the Giants tomorrow. Miles Michaelis will be on the bump for the Cards. 1:15 first pitch. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final is tonight. You can listen to it right here on 101 ESPN. The Florida Panthers trying to defeat the Edmonton Oilers and take home the franchise's first Stanley Cup. Once again, pregame for that one starts at 6:30. The worst Western Conference contracts in the NHL. Well, we're going to dive into that next, right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. Jamie, come on. It's a hockey segment. We need you, buddy. Let's clean it up.
I can't handle
Let's clean it up, man.
Seriously.
Me?
Oh,
what did I do?
Nothing, Anthony. You've been really funny the last couple of
Nothing
days.
at all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
I always
that.
enjoy you, but I really enjoy you the last couple of days.
Thanks, Jamie. All right. The Blues.
Carey, I enjoy you too. I just haven't had a
appreciate it.
chance to enjoy you as much.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well said. All right, so The Athletic, as Marcia said in the Sports Center update, they put together the worst Western Conference contracts. And the Blues, here you go. Most inefficient contracts in 2023-2024. Torrey Krug, -4 net rating. Cap hit was $6.5 million. 3 years left.
So can you describe the scale, how that's working?
Yes.
Like a 0 would be even rating, +1, +2, that'd be positive, that'd be good contract.
Correct.
The negative ones mean bad.
For example, Braden Shen was a 0 at a $6.5 million cap hit, 4 years left. So it's kind of neutral, right? So -4 for Torrey Krug, -1 for Justin Falk, who also has 3 years left on his deal. Marco Scandella, -7 net rating. He is a free agent. Kasperi Kapanen, a -7, and he's also an unrestricted free agent. Kevin Hayes, a -2. He's got 2 years left on his deal. Jakub Vrana, -20 net rating.
Well, he finished in Springfield, so.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Then they have a breakdown. I'll just read Torrey Krug's part, or at least the defense, this first paragraph here. Torrey Krug, the Blues are stuck with too many overpaid veterans. Colton Parayko and Nicoletti had impressive bounce backs, but that still left Krug and Justin Falk as problematic contracts in the Blues' top 4. Krug and Falk are paid like fringe top pairing defensemen, but are instead below average defensively and don't pack enough offensive punch to make up for it. Marco Scandella was only trusted to play 12:28 per game, 12 minutes, 28 seconds per game, on the back end. That alone should tell you he wasn't worth $3.275 million. Jamie.
Yeah.
Is this off in any way?
So before we dive into this, I just have to highlight, because my blood pressure went up the moment I saw this. This is the same damn guy that last year had Colton Parayko as one of the worst contracts in the NHL. Here's my problem, again, with The Athletic when they do things like this, is you're doing it year to year now, but you can't do that with multi-year contracts. So if you say, like last year, Colton Parayko, one of the worst contracts in the league, but, oh, he's fine now. No, you should say he was one of the worst contracts for this season. If you're going to, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not one of the worst contracts in the league because, he had a bounce back here and played like Colton Parayko.
So don't even highlight the fact that how many years you have left.
No, it
just talk about this season.
Just talk about the now.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so that's why it gets my blood pressure up, because last year, everybody was talking about Colton Parayko, and these little articles, they get people stirred up, and people all like off season, trade Parayko. No, you fool. You don't trade Colton Parayko because there aren't a lot of Colton Paraykos in the NHL. So fast forward to this year's article. Torrey Krug. Look, Torrey Krug has been the lightning rod since signing here in St. Louis. Let's start locally. Most people, I won't say everyone, most people associate Torrey Krug with Alex Pietrangelo leaving the team. Petro left, or Army chose Krug over Petro. So now Krug comes in, and he's not Alex Pietrangelo. He's just not. Like, there's not a lot of those guys around, which is probably why you should have kept him. But there's not a lot of those guys around. But he's automatically associated with that moment in Blues time. And he's been fine. He works hard. I know that sounds like a terrible thing, but having been around the team full-time this year, I see the impact that Torrey Krug can have on this team. And it can be a very positive one. He works hard. He plays hard. He doesn't always make the best defensive plays. He's not always able to physically handle certain players because he's a smaller guy in stature, but he tries. Like, he's there. He'll block a shot with his face. Like, now, does that justify his $6.5 million a year? Probably not.
Yep.
So this is where the offensive output for Torrey Krug has gone down. He was one of the top scoring power play defensemen in the NHL. In fact, I think he had the 10 years leading up to his contract with the Blues, I think he was a top power play scoring defenseman in the NHL. Those numbers have dipped. But it's the chicken to the egg here, right? Have those numbers dipped because of Torrey Krug's play, or have those numbers dipped because the Blues power play has struggled 2 years in a row? They picked it up the second half of last year, but the beginning of last year and then also the year before, power play wasn't great. So did that affect his numbers?
I think it's also fair to wonder, too, how much did playing in Boston help?
Well, there's no doubt.
Like we
There's
talk about,
no
like,
doubt.
line mates or certain players.
Pasternak, Marchand, Bergeron, Krejci. Totally agree with that, by the way. I'm not going to sit here and say, that had nothing to do with it. No, but Torrey Krug was a big part of that.
Yeah.
He had a lot of assists on goals that those guys scored.
Yeah.
Does the goal happen without the pass? I don't know. So it's a weird kind of...
If you're Jordan, you don't even have to be on the court.
No, you get your point anyways. But
take a shot.
But as far as evaluating the contract based on the now, I do think that the contract doesn't match the output right now. So it's fair for the Athletic to do that. The one I'm a little bit like head scratching on is how Braden Shen found his way into this mix. He's a 20-goal scorer, like pretty much perennial 20-goal scorer. He plays up and down your lineup wherever you need him. He's a gritty guy. This is where I don't know what they're using for their equation. Because is it just goals, assists? Is it the Corsi rating? Is it offensive zone time? Is it defensive zone time? Because there's a lot of things that Braden Shen does on a daily, nightly basis that I've yet to see a stat for that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think there's value in Braden Shen. He's a 20-goal scorer. 20 goal scorers are making $4 to $5 million a year right now, sometimes more. He's also your captain. He's your toughest player. He's gritty. He does everything he can to win every single night. I think there's a dollar value that goes along with that. Marshy asked me, that 6.5, and I said, I understand that. But if I'm Doug Armstrong, I'm willing to pay a little bit more money to get a pillar, to get my captain. The captain should be rewarded with a little bit extra. So, I don't know. Both guys would probably say they'd like to have a better season next year. And if that's the case, Dom will just take them right off the list completely next year.
Going back to the defenseman talk, I think things could be worse for the Blues. There's two names on here that are no surprise by any means, and then there's one name that I want to bring up, see what you guys have to say about that. But Darnell Nurse, $9.25 million. He is not good. Seth Jones, $9.5.
Yeah, he's terrible, too.
He's not good. Now, here's another name, though. Alex Pietrangelo is on this list, which I find interesting. I understand he missed some games last year, but he is still a hell of a player.
You don't talk bad about the captain.
That's just silliness.
Anthony, I'm not talking ill will of Petro at all.
I don't like
the
this.
guy who wrote this has him on there.
Yeah, well, I don't like it.
He also had Colton Parayko last year, so that's where I go right back to the beginning of my whole statement, is that he's isolating certain things, and there's certain equations that get used. I don't know. We talk about the cherry picking, right? Not that he's cherry picking because it's personal. I just think whatever equation that they use with their software is set up to pick certain things apart.
Yeah. Makes
Because
sense.
I tell you what, I take Alex Pietrangelo right now.
Yeah, I would too.
Oh, that's a bad contract. I'll take one.
Well,
right here, please.
Bring it on back.
Yep.
All right. There was an article that was released talking about some different trade deadline options for the Cardinals. Do we like any of them? That's next on 101 ESPN. I was reading different statistics the other day, and I came across one that was shared to me by Mosby Building Arts, that when you're talking about the kitchen, the average American spends 37 minutes a day in the kitchen. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that seems about right for my family. That's where we eat. That's where we cook. That's where we talk about our day. Imagine upgrading your kitchen so that the spot where you spend the most time in, the kitchen as a family, it's exactly how you want it. Mosby Building Arts, that's what they can do. They've got their Great Kitchen Escape promotion going on, which means you get a $2,500 Airbnb gift card with a kitchen remodel. So if you're already thinking about upgrading your kitchen, remodeling things, why don't you work with the best, and why don't you take advantage of this promotion? It's only now through the end of June, but you get a $2,500 Airbnb gift card with a kitchen remodel, plus you get to work with the experts. Mosby Building Arts will come in, they'll have your own interior designer, they'll design the look and feel of the kitchen that you want, they'll maximize the space that you have there now, they'll offer ideas that maybe you'll love, maybe you're not, but it'll be customized the way, again, that you want it. And then you have your own team that comes in. They have their own team of engineers, designers, electricians, plumbers, everybody. It's all under one roof at Mosby. They won't start your project until all the materials are in their house, so that way you won't get any sort of delays, unexpected delays. Working with other companies, you don't know if they'll tack on certain things when it comes to the price. Not with Mosby Building Arts. So give them a call right now. Take advantage of that kitchen deal. 314-909-1800. Call Mosby.com. It's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. Redbird Rants put together a list of trades, possible trades, hypotheticals for the Cardinals. You guys want to start off with the ultra-aggressive buying one?
I sent this to Marshy. I found it very interesting. So, yes.
These are always fun. Like, it's fun radio chatter and things like that.
Well, be careful. You don't want to talk about it too much.
Right.
Some of the people in the snake pit and whatnot were saying, hey.
Anthony, you're taking this way too seriously.
What happened?
No, just, taking that article too seriously and then discrediting the list and then still talking about it. So,
I'd love to hear the aggressive trade that the Cardinals could make to make their team better. What you
All
got?
right.
Yeah,
Wait, hey, the NHL, was it the NHL article that one or this one?
No, the NHL one.
Oh, okay.
They're mad at that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're mad at everything.
All right. Well,
It's Friday.
I'll just say these with a smile, and then that'll help.
Can't see it.
The Cardinals. No, the snake pit can.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
Driving.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the ultra-aggressive buying move. The St. Louis Cardinals receive Luis Robert, Garrett Crochet, and John Brebbia.
Let's go. Bring Brebbia back here.
The White Sox receive Jordan Walker, Tink Hence, Sam Robesay, and Victor Scott. You guys interested in that one?
No.
I mean, you're trading your future for the present.
The only thing you're really
I'm
getting
okay.
out of that trade is Garrett Crochet. Like
And
Luis Roberts.
Luis Robert.
Yeah, but he's fine. But how many years he got left?
On Earth? I don't think
I mean, that would be important to know.
I don't think he meant.
for the contracts?
Yeah, because if he's got like a year or two left, then you're really not getting him.
Right. Let's see what he's got left here, contract-wise. You got a little while with him. You got club option. So this season, 2025, 2 club options. He doesn't become unrestricted until 2028 when he's 30. So you would get, if you made the deal this year, half of this season, plus 3 more.
And then Crochet.
Crochet, I believe, is ARB right now. ARB eligible.
Because if you do get that many seasons with Robert and if you equal that with Crochet.
Yeah, he would only be his second ARB year next year.
So how many more? 3 more?
2.
So basically, your future, as you said, your future for the present.
Yeah.
To win what?
You'd be trading your future ace, or what you think, in Tink Hence.
Future center fielder. Future right fielder.
Yes. For guys that are doing it now, though.
Yeah, it's proven talent versus unproven talent.
Cool.
Luis Robert is head and shoulders better than Victor Scott right now.
To do what? To win a championship?
No, you got to win the division.
You got to win the division. Just get in.
Come on.
Oh, you guys are crazy.
Then you can win a championship.
You guys are crazy.
All right, so do you like it or not?
No.
I like it.
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it.
I don't love it, but I don't mind it.
You are the. You know what that sounds like? Sure, Sandy Alcantara, Marcell Ozuna. I love it. That's what that sounds like to me.
Who's your Sandy Alcantara?
Tink Hence.
But you're getting Garrett Crochet.
That's
it's not
what
like you're getting Matthew Liberatore back.
Do you? Yeah, okay.
Or 2 years of Ozuna.
Make sure. Do it. Have at it.
Okay, all right. We got other ones.
I'd like
All right,
you
keep
to-
going.
No, hang on.
I'm sorry.
Carey,
I'm trying to be.
No,
I'm trying to be what my shirt
I hear
says
it.
with you all here.
Hey.
Saying it ain't working right now.
I feel you. Okay,
right,
so
I'm
this is what we're
sorry.
going to do. We're going to slow it down, okay, because your thoughts matter.
Thank you.
Even when they're wrong, they matter. What? Well, they matter. And I want you to express how you feel right now.
Was that?
No, it was just a fact.
It's a fact.
Yeah, I just want you to know you're important.
Oh, now I'm important.
Yeah, your thoughts are important.
Thank you.
Even when
Jamie.
they're wrong.
All right.
So go ahead.
I'll pass. But you all can take it.
I'd probably take it.
I think so too.
I take it and run. For real. Jordan Walker, you're unsure what he's going to be. Victor Scott, I don't know if his bat will ever really play in the majors. And Tink Hence is a question mark. Could he be Sandy Alcantara? Maybe. Or maybe he's Austin Gomber.
But you're right there. You're still getting proven
Getting
talent.
value back for a couple of years, 2, 3 years, even 4.
Right.
Like yes.
Garrett Crochet's doing it now.
You do it.
And he's still young.
Luis Robert's a, 30 home run, 40 home run guy?
Yeah.
It would be different.
When healthy, I mean, you're acquiring the durability issue, too.
And motivated.
Robert is. Robert's a
sign
stud.
up.
Oh, you should have had him earlier.
And motivated?
You should have.
No. Yeah,
you really should have.
He looked unmotivated last night watching him play.
We have 9 more. Let me give you another one, okay? So this would be the conservative buying moves. Again, this is Redbird Rants. Cardinals receive Luis Severino and Harrison Bader from the Mets. Mets receive Sam Roberse, Jonathan Mejia, and Edward Nunez.
Yeah, done.
Sure.
I would too.
Okay.
Now, Severino and Bader are rentals. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Severino, though, once we get him here and get him to the free zoo.
Free zoo-ish. Free-ish zoo.
I'll pay for the parking.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at Marshy. That's a team guy right there.
Or we'll just tell him to park in Forest Park
and walk.
Free parking.
Absolutely. That's a great call.
It's a nice walk, though.
Okay, so we like that one. Let's go to the next one here. Cardinals receive Nick Pivetta and Kenley Jansen. Boston would receive Wo Bin Chu and Jimmy Crooks III, as well as Connor Thomas. I would also do that one.
I would do that, too.
Yeah. Nick Pavetta's having himself an excellent season. Kenley Jansen, another option for your bullpen.
Okay.
So that when you make this run, baby, and then for the National League Central, you got 2 things. You got a starter and another late inning option.
Sign me up for that.
Now, you're just saying that because you're upset.
I'm whatever you guys say, I'm going for.
Oh, Carey, don't you do that.
Where's Kenley Jansen going to pitch? Is he going to take
8th or 9th?
Kittredge? He's going to take his spot or JoJo?
Nobody's taking anybody's spot. You
add him.
You add him.
And Gallegos is just.
Well, we don't know what he is.
We don't know what Gallegos is, unfortunately, at this point.
You don't want to bolster the bullpen?
The bullpen is fine.
The bullpen is fine, but I want the bullpen to be great.
How about a hitter?
Luis Robert. See?
You can't that one. No.
Harrison Bader.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Okay.
What you got next?
The Cardinals would receive Justin Lawrence and Jalen Beeks. Colorado would receive Cesar Prado and Jimmy Crooks III.
I don't know if
it's a no for me.
Makes your team better.
It's a no for me, champ.
I feel like that's like a wash. You're not any further ahead.
Cardinals receive Trevor Rogers and Anthony Bender from Miami. The Marlins would receive Lucan Baker, Matt Kopernak, and Andrew Granillo. I would be interested in that one, too. Trevor Rogers is an interesting talent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know enough about him.
I don't know where Lucan Baker fits into the plans of the Cardinals.
Yeah,
I don't think he does.
I think you have enough Lucan Bakers.
All he does is hit home runs, but he doesn't fit in.
Well, where's he going to play?
Correct.
First base?
Yeah.
DH?
Trading Goldie.
Rogers at one point finished second in the NL of the year. NL Rookie of the Year voting in 2021. Cardinals receive Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham. White Sox receive Gordon Graceffo, Cesar Prado, and Leonardo Bernal.
Might be okay.
That's a
with
no
that.
for me.
Really? You don't want a pitcher and a right-handed bat that can play center field?
Listen, I like Tommy Pham. A hell of a player.
Jamie and I had
beat the crap out of everybody if need be. I'm not giving up Gordon Graceffo for Eric Fetty.
You don't know what he is.
And his 5-something career ERA.
You just said you get a proven commodity versus a player you don't know. Are you putting Garrett Crochet?
Thank you.
Are you kidding me? A known commodity. You don't know what Gordon Graceffo is going to be? Didn't he just say that? Or am I hearing things? If I heard it incorrectly, please correct me. Do you know what Gordon Graceffo is going to be? Because if he was going to be, he would probably be here already, right? I don't know.
It's about the value.
Do you know what he's going to be?
John Starks, same player as Michael Jordan.
He's not, unfortunately.
Sorry I had to do that.
He's not.
That's a no for me.
But they're both, Eastern Conference final players.
Eric Fetty would come in here, all of a sudden he'd be the 5 ERA version of himself. I'm out.
All right.
Cardinals receive Jamie's best friend, Jose Quintana. Mets would receive Matt Swanson, Mike Antico, and Kyle Leahy.
You want to go back down to Quintana?
That one's.
You didn't.
I would.
Why didn't you re-sign him?
Well, I didn't do anything, Carey.
I'm asking why didn't they re-sign him?
I think he got a better offer with the Mets.
Then you should have upped your offer.
Well, Carey, now let's not.
Yeah, he was injured for like a majority of the season last year anyway, so.
That's because he was in New York. or wherever they had spring training at. He wouldn't have been hurt if he's in Jupiter with the Cardinals.
I think he had
wasn't it an oblique or something?
I thought it was his back.
What's that? Who?
Quintana
last year.
Last year.
Yeah, no, that was, I forget now.
It was something.
Yeah.
Clearly.
All right, here's one more. Cardinals receive Reed Detmers. The Angels receive Dylan Carlson, Gordon Graceffo, and Lucan Baker. That's a no from me, too.
No.
Oh, you don't want to get, you don't want Dylan Carlson? You want Dylan Carlson?
I don't want Reed Detmers.
Okay.
Reed Detmers is one of those. He's one of those kids who are like, he's got plenty of talent.
Ty's brother.
6 ERA. I'm good.
Ty Detmer.
Yeah.
Ty Detmer's brother.
Coy.
Yeah, Coy Detmer.
I played with one of them in Atlanta. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I think it was Ty. Yeah.
It's Ty.
It's Ty Detmer.
There's a lot of guys on the team, Jamie.
Yeah.
And I've been a lot of places. I don't know.
Man, that's going back. All right, maybe we save some of these other ones for later. We do have the Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN. Got a call the other day from our guy Stewie, Jamie, and I always appreciate Stewie because, he was talking about, and he shared this story yesterday. He was talking about how some customers came in after hearing us on 101 ESPN, and they couldn't get the loan that they were looking for to buy their dream home, and they said, you know what, why not call Stewie? They heard him and us talking about him on 101 ESPN, and Stewie called me and said, hey, listen, just want to let you know, this couple is going to get the dream home because of you guys kind of spreading the word. It was one of the more difficult loans that he's ever done, but this is what makes Stewie great. When it comes to challenges, he's going to fight for his clients. He's going to fight to make sure that they get the best loan possible, best rate, and then he's going to take care of them for the long haul. If they need to refinance, he'll call them, do it for free. When it comes to the bagel loan, that saves a ton of money up front for clients. But I like how invested Stewie is in all of his clients.
Think about how busy Stewie is all the time. And think about other lending companies. And how many of them would have just been like, that won't work.
We don't do that.
We don't do that. Or, never seen this before. Not Stewie. Stewie dives head first into it and then finds a way to get you to the closing table so that you can have the home that you're desiring to have. Mm-hmm. That's the difference right there. One is unwilling and one is willing to do whatever it takes to help you. And that's our guy, Stewie. So give him a call at 314-324-4440.
Again, 314-324-4440.
Call, text, day, night, weekend, Friday night, right now. Doesn't matter. Give him a call. Shoot him a text. It's going to take great care of you. I promise you that. But if you can't remember that number, Anthony, what can they do?
You can always Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
4 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit Mastor.com.
402, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome in Sean. What's up, Sean?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How are you?
We're doing great, man. We appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. First time in the Gauntlet?
No, actually, my third. I took on BT 2 times before.
Oh. How'd you do?
That's going back. 1-1. I want a piece of them for the tiebreaker.
All right. Who do you want to take this round?
Let's try Carey. He needs a couple minutes away from you guys picking on him anyway. So
thank you, Sean. He's got every day.
Come on, we don't pick on him.
Carey can handle himself just fine.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so Carey's going to make his way into the cone of silence. Sean, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marshy.
What category are we hoping for?
Baseball would be nice.
Ooh.
No football with Carey.
No football, 1 baseball. Wow. Let's see what the wheel spins.
Oh! How do you feel about random, Sean?
Oh, that'll work.
All right.
Okay,
Random
there you
it
go.
is.
4 random questions to Sean, 4 random questions to Carey. Each question is worth 2 points unless Sean or Carey ask for the options, and then those questions are worth 1 point. Sean, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Question 1. Monday night on 101 ESPN, the Celtics clinched their 18th NBA championship by demolishing the Mavericks 106-88. Name Boston's career leader in games played.
I'm going to go with Bill Russell. Final answer.
Yep.
All right, Sean, question 2. What is the capital of Australia?
Give me some options there, Jamie.
All right, is it Canberra, Sydney, or Melbourne?
Let's go with Melbourne. Final answer.
Question number 3. In which year did the American Civil War begin with the Confederate troops firing on Fort Sumter?
Options, please.
Was it 1776, 1861, or 1882?
Let's go with the second one. Final answer.
1861.
All right, Sean, last question. In January of 2023, the song Flowers jumped to the top of the U.S. charts. It appeared on which singer's 8th studio album?
I want to say Miley Cyrus. We're going to say Miley. Final answer.
All right.
Buy me flowers.
Nice job there, Carey. Or Jamie.
Thank you.
Should we get Carey back in here?
Try. He's asleep.
Sean, how you feeling?
I don't know. I'm kind of sweating like Mike Tyson in a spelling bee.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Carey just said that's fast. He's putting on his earbuds right now. Carey, how was the cone of silence?
That was wonderful.
Well, good.
Just hanging out by myself.
All right. Jamie?
Oh, you better pack a lunch.
All right.
Random.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Random is the category today. Here we go, Carey. Monday night on 101 ESPN, the Celtics clinched their 18th NBA championship by demolishing the Mavericks 106-88. Name Boston's career leader in games played.
Oh. That's, whew.
Didn't know we were going to go there, did you?
I did not. Career leader, somebody that obviously played there and got Bill Russell. I'm going to need the options. I don't want them. It's going to be Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish. Like, there are some guys. Give me the Give me the options. If he's on here, I'm picking him.
Larry Bird.
Oh, God.
Bill Russell. Or John Havlicek.
Oh, I didn't say Havlicek. It's going to be a complete get. Larry had a lot of back injuries towards the end, so I'm going to take him off. Can't go wrong with Bill. Oh, give me Bill Russell. Final answer. Ooh, that's hurt.
I felt your struggle trying to choose an option.
Question 2.
All right.
What is the capital of Australia?
Sydney. Final answer.
Question number 3. In which year did the American Civil War begin with the Confederate troops firing on Fort Sumter?
Feels like yesterday.
Give me the options.
Options are 1776, 1861, or 1882.
1776 is America. 18 what?
So you
Give me the options again, please.
You have 1776, 1861, or 1882.
When it began.
When the Civil War began.
1861? Is that the other option?
Yeah, that is option B.
Give me that one. Option B. Final answer. Sorry.
All right, Carey, question number 4. In January of 2023, the song Flowers jumped to the top of the U.S. charts. It appeared on which singer's 8th studio album?
Probably Taylor Swift. My youngest daughter would be so disappointed in me if that's who it is. I'm not going to know. Flowers, you say?
Flowers.
All right, give me the options.
Is it Lana Del Rey? Lana Del Rey. See how much I check out of her work.
Her catalog.
Yeah.
Good singer.
Miley Cyrus or Adele?
Oh, God, I'm glad I did ask for the options. I would probably say Adele. Final answer.
All right. Let's go over these. Monday night on 101 at ESPN, the Celtics clinched their 18th NBA championship by demolishing the Mavericks, 106-88. Named Boston's career leader in games played. Carey, with the options, you said Bill Russell. Sean, without the options, said Bill Russell.
Oh, that's...
Correct answer is...
John Havlicek.
John Havlicek.
Yes. John Havlicek.
Never been happy to be wrong.
1,270 games played. Sean 0, Carey 0. What is the capital of Australia? Sean, with the options, you said Melbourne.
Oh.
Carey, without the options, you said Sydney, which was an option. Correct answer is Canberra. Just wasn't the right option.
Neither of us.
Canberra, mate.
Carey 0. Sean 0.
Jeez.
In which year?
We're tearing it up, Carey.
In which year did the American Civil War begin? The Confederate troops firing on Fort Sumter. Sean, with the options, you said 1861. Carey, with the options, you said 1861. Correct answer is
1861.
We have a tie game, 1-1. Comes down to this. In January of 2023, the song Flowers jumped to the top of the U.S. charts. It appeared on which singer's 8th studio album? You both have different answers. Sean, you said Miley Cyrus. Carey, you said Adele. One of you is correct. Sean.
You have chosen wisely.
Sean didn't need the options. Sean wins 3-1 over Carey today.
Miley Cyrus, baby.
Sean, nice job. You get to celebrate all weekend, then come back next week.
Good job, Sean.
Sounds great. Good job, Carey.
Hey, enjoy the weekend. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
All right, sounds great. Just got me a brand new pool put in, so I'm going to enjoy that this weekend.
Enjoy.
There you go. Nice.
Baby.
All right.
Hopefully it's warm.
There you go.
Thanks,
All right.
fellas. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks, Sean. Gary, that's a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
I mean, that song only plays every fourth song on every radio station. It's fine.
I'm busy listening to 101 ESPN everywhere I
Yeah,
go.
me too.
And the ESPN app.
Yep.
The 101 ESPN
You have
app.
kids, right?
Yeah, my son is not. My daughter listens to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but she'd know this
She
song.
probably. I said she was probably be mad at me. Well, how's it go?
You can buy me flowers.
Yep.
I don't know the words, but it's like.
I don't know that one.
No, she goes, I can buy myself flowers.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I don't need you buying me flowers. I can buy myself flowers.
I don't need a man.
Yeah, I don't need you.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Darn it.
And then later on, it's like, why can't I find a man? Well, because you hated us. So, there's that.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's how it goes.
It might actually be pretty accurate.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why can't I find anybody? I'm so lonely. Well, you didn't need us. And now we don't need you. Wow.
Oh.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is somebody safe now? Rule number one, everybody's safe? I can't say anything?
Nobody's safe, actually.
Anthony, I don't think she's talking.
Line two?
I don't think she's talking about men in general. I think it's about
certain
Liam
man?
Hemsworth.
Oh, really?
Oh, now we're getting
ex-guy.
specific.
Well, I mean,
Why are you attacking him?
I'm not. I think she did. She wrote a whole damn album about him, I'm pretty sure.
Now she's trying to follow that Taylor Swift model.
It works well.
It does work well.
Get scored, write a whole album, make money.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
People want.
I mean, people have been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Look at Eminem. He did the same thing.
Yes.
Wrote about his ex there.
Oh, Kim.
Yeah, for a while.
And his mom.
And his mom. Said some really rough things. Mother's Day was not great.
You grew up right down the road from him.
Yeah.
And 8.
Yeah.
7 mile, wasn't it?
7.5.
Yeah.
7.5.
Yeah.
Yep.
7
Yep.
3/4.
That half is important to Anthony.
7.25 miles.
Anthony was
does.
actually in 8 Mile. He was an extra.
Yeah, it was.
And then they deleted.
They deleted the same.
They were going to use
Yeah.
Anthony. Anthony recorded one of the rap battle things.
Yeah.
And they were going to use it
It was too good.
until they listened.
Well, no, it's too good. They're like, hey, you're white, and it's too good. He's white, and we're trying to showcase him
It's his-
being a
it's his
rapper.
movie.
It's his movie.
You don't want to.
Your time will come, and my time never came.
Yeah.
So I gave up the rap game, and now look at me.
You didn't have a cool nickname like him either.
No, your name in the movie was just Fred.
Yeah.
It was weird.
That sucked.
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Like, he's Rabbit. Like,
Right.
it's like everybody had cool names, and Fred.
Cheddar Bob's.
No wonder they cut your C name.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for listening, and thanks for kind of walking me through that journey.
we're
It's
here
good
for
to
you.
talk about it. Yep.
It's always healthy.
Are the standings a good indicator of how good the team actually is? It should be. But is that the case with the Cardinals?
Want to use?
That's next. I want to win ESPN. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So, Marsh, you were talking earlier in the studio today, or the offices, about the standings and whether or not they're a good indicator of how good a team actually is. And this is all predicated on an MLB Power Rankings that was released by ESPN. And in the Power Rankings, the Cardinals ranked, let's see here, they were 16th at 36 and 37. They're behind the Astros, who are 34 and 40. They're behind the Giants, who they beat last night. The Giants are 36 and 39. They're behind the Diamondbacks, who are 2 games below 500. The Padres, 2 games below 500. So, Carey, you had joked, well, how else do you want to evaluate a team outside of their record? I think, Marsh, you were bringing up this as like, okay, are the Cardinals actually as good as the record indicates compared to the rest of Major League Baseball? I don't blame ESPN for having the Cardinals behind the Padres or behind the Astros. I think they should be in front of the Giants, but we're nitpicking. We're splitting hairs. So when you look at this and you look at their record and you say, well, they're 36 and they're 37 and 37 now. Do you think that's a good indication of how they compare to the rest of the league?
I think it's middle of the pack. Essentially where they are. They are not better. I mean, you can argue a few teams. Like you said, the Diamondbacks are 36 and 38. But I think when you look at the rosters and the team overall, I think you would probably look at some of those teams and say, yeah, they're better than what the Cardinals are right now, or projected to be better than what the Cardinals are right now. Their record, it speaks for themselves. They are 37 and 37. Middle of the pack, and that's where they land on this list. Middle of the pack, 15, 16. You're right there, right where you are, right where you should be. I don't think they're better or worse than that. And I think that's where my frustration, comes in with some of the texters and some people that are so frustrated, or why don't you all speak so highly of the Cardinals? Because they are 37 and 37. As I looked earlier, I think you were right. They've only been 1 game above 500, and that was here in the last week.
Yeah.
Like, that's a clear indication of what this team is. If they were better, their record would be better, and they would continue to show that, night in and night out.
Yeah, they're right where they're at. I mean, the Padres probably have a better team on paper, but the Padres have had a better team on paper for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Than not just the Cardinals, and than a lot of teams, and they haven't been able to figure it out for one reason or another. But yeah, look at this. The National League is a disaster, guys. The more I look at it, I mean, it's a disaster.
Yes.
Because you literally have almost the entire National League that's still in playoff contention. The only 2 teams that are not.
Speak on it, Jamie.
Rockies and Marlins. That's it.
Yeah.
Anthony, that's the whole National League. There's only 2 teams that are out, like no chance. The Reds are 1.5 games back of a wild card spot.
Yeah, that's correct.
And they're the lowest here with the Giants in the standing, the wild card standing. So
the entire National League, minus those 2 teams you just mentioned, are 2 games from either being in the wild card or being third to last in the National League. Like that's all of those teams are essentially the same right now.
Yeah.
And so when it's that, you go off of which team has the better roster. Which team do you feel would you project to play more to the capability of their star players? I think the Padres have more stars than we have right now. And so you would look at that team and say, if they figure it out, they're probably going to be in that wild card.
Are they the only team? Because I look at the Mets, and the Mets are, a game back of the wild card. But on paper, do the Mets have a better team?
Well, I'm a big believer in run differential, point differential, run differential.
At that, Anthony. You won't like
do not look at that. If you want to look at any other metric, stay away from that one.
But it goes to show you why the power rankings are set up the way they are. The Padres, you're right, Jamie. They've had a better team on paper over the last couple of years than the Cardinals. They also have a plus 12 run differential. By the end of the season, they should probably be above 500 if their run differential stays in the green. Same thing with the Diamondbacks, are a plus 9. Even the Giants at minus 27, that's slightly better than the Cardinals at minus 38. The Mets are minus 7. So, if you're a believer in run differential, their Cardinals record should probably be worse than what it is right now, which is a scary thought. If you want to be optimistic, though, you can say if
ifs and buts were candy and nuts.
Goldschmidt and Arenado, if they start to hit above where they should be, in the middle of the order, then this offense will be better. And that is the thing that is holding them. The offense is holding them back right now.
Is there a decision that comes where you say, okay, you two are not performing?
Yeah, it's called what we've already seen.
Nolan Gorman as well. Like he's batting cleanup. He's 2 for his last 30, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, is there a point where you say, okay, this is not about you individually. It's about the team. Mm-hmm. And this is what we need to do to make the team better.
Well, that's the other problem, though. Who else are you going to...
Wilson Contreras.
Well, when Wilson Contreras comes back, you can certainly put him clean up. You could have
Alec
Donovan.
Burleson.
You could have Donovan hit 2 and Burleson 3. You could do that.
Or you could have Goldschmidt hit 2 and Wilson and Burley in the 3-4, however you figure that out. And then... I don't know.
So to me, I'm not putting Goldschmidt
Herrera
at
5.
That's fine. You're soaking up one of your DH spots, though.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You want to win, Anthony?
I do.
Winning?
I do like winning.
And you just like talking about it?
No, I think winning is the most important thing in life.
We're on the same thing, on the same page then.
It really solves everything.
It actually solves so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not stressed out when you're winning, usually. It's a good problem to have.
I'm good with that. I'm not putting Goldschmidt, too.
Why not?
I'm not giving him more at-bats in a game.
I wouldn't move Burley out of that number 2 spot.
That's fine.
He's been great there.
But your 3, 4, and 5 are your guys that are supposed to drive in the 1, 2, the 1 and the 2.
And they're not.
So
I would move Goldie to 6.
And then where are you going to put Nolan Arenado?
7.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not joking.
And Nolan Gorman at 8?
This is what, no, I actually, Gorman I'd leave, because when Contreras comes back, he's going in the 4. Okay. He's got to go clean up. I think he does.
Yeah.
And I think Gorman's fine at 3.
I think Gorman's good at 5.
Okay, 5.
You run into one, right? Cool. But
there is no way.
You cannot put, Paul Goldschmidt right now has an on base of 302.
You can't put him in the 2-hole because of that.
Yeah.
If you want run production, right?
I would like.
You got to get somebody on base.
That's how you win.
If you're going to have Contreras knocking people around as far as scoring runs, they have to be on the bases.
That's a good point.
And if Goldie's 300 OBP, that tells me he's not on base enough.
Not enough.
No, not at all.
No.
Burleson's only 306. That's why I mentioned Donovan, who's got a 327. You can kind of play around here a little bit.
I like Donnie up there, but yeah, you're right. Win Donovan.
Try to get on base. Win right now is got a 339, and then Burleson. That's fine.
Contreras,
Gorman, and then you can do
Goldie, Arenado.
Yeah,
I'm not joking, and I know it's terrible to put those potential Hall of Famers that low in your order, but if you want to win,
why not put Arenado in the 2-hole? He's got the 3rd highest on base percentage on the team. I believe, if I just saw it correctly.
I'm okay with it.
Put him in the 2-hole.
That's fine.
But then Goldie's got to be at 6.
Yeah, that's fine too.
But again, you're giving him more at bats.
He's actually hitting the ball.
But he's getting on base, Anthony.
He's batting 260. He's hitting the ball. He's just not hitting.
He can get on base at 6.
He's not hitting with runners in scoring position.
You know what I mean?
But if he's 3rd in the team in on base percentage,
but he's also, let's see here for WRC plus, he's 8th. You know what I mean?
True.
He is not a complete package at all right now.
No.
Donovan's got a 111 WRC plus.
I don't know.
Donnie's on fire right now.
He's got one more home run than Arenado does.
Yeah.
And Arenado has 298 plate appearances. Well, Donovan's got 303.
I just said,
right? To me, that second spot in the order, a combination of on base and power. Because if Masyn Winn gets on, you're either getting on with him and now you're really causing some damage, or you're hitting one out of the park. God forbid.
Well, even a single
with this team
probably moves him to 3rd. In most cases.
Get him on, get him in. And Arenado at 2, maybe it'll take some of the pressure off the dude.
You talking about get him on and get him in? We saw that last night, right? Like, I think that's the blueprint of what this team needs and what we need to see out of this team.
Yep.
Get on, get a double, steal a base.
Yes.
Sack fly, like move runners over. Like I thought they did a good job at that last night, but they're not consistent enough.
No.
Carey, there's a text here for you. I believe it's for you. It says, from the 314 says, can we please discuss the last month plus, where the Birds have one of the best records in the NL since mid-May? We know these guys had a horrible April and early May.
So who are they? Why do you negate the first half? Why do you negate? What positive thinking is amazing. I get it. Like where you can just delete an entire a month and a half, a month of baseball. Like you can just delete that part and pretend
delete a whole,
certain portions. Oh, no question.
Would that be great?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just delete that part.
I murdered 2 people in April. I didn't murder anybody in May.
Well, I totally forgot about it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm on the way. I'm on the right track.
Yep.
Like, which team are they? Which team?
Right?
We want to believe that they are the team that they've been for the last month and a half. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know that to be true until I see more. Until I see a team that competes every single night. You don't have to win every game. You're not going to win every game, but you should be competing every single night. And the teams that you're supposed to beat, you should be beating the hell out of them.
Yeah.
You should not be splitting with the Rockies, and you damn sure shouldn't be losing a series to the Marlins.
Right.
That's, to me, that's unacceptable. For a team that has aspirations, again, we go back, we talk a lot about the similarities with the Cardinals and the Blues. Losing 3 to San Jose. If you're the St. Louis Blues, do you really think you're going to make a playoff run if you can't beat the worst team in the NHL?
Yeah, you can't do it.
You can't lose those games. You can't lose those games.
Right. That you bring up a great point. You can't highlight the wins over the Lightning or whoever and then just ignore the losses to the Sharks.
Correct.
They count the same.
To the Blackhawks. You're like, don't worry about it.
Seriously.
It never happened. No, it did.
I stabbed 2 people in the face in April. Haven't done it. I didn't do it in May, though. I'm a good guy.
That's the
better.
most aggressive crime.
I'm a good guy. Jamie, right?
You're fantastic. You're doing much better since then.
Thank you.
You've done a great job.
Sports Six Pack is next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. If you will have a question, send it there. Sports Six Pack next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals defeated the San Francisco Giants last night 6-5 at Rickwood Field. We talked about last night's game and everything that surrounded it. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or go to the free 101 mobile app. Again, it's free, so check it out. You can find our shows, our interviews, all on the podcast page, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Cardinals are off today. They'll continue taking on the Giants tomorrow as Miles Michaelis will take the bump, going up against Jordan Hicks. First pitch is at 1:15. Tonight, we have Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. Pre-game for that one starts at 6:30. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh with your questions.
Question number 1.
All right, this first one comes from the 573. How much longer until we accept that Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt are what their stats say they are, and there's no reason to believe it's going to get better?
Well, what do their stats say? Are we talking career stats, or are we talking the last?
I think they're talking about
like
this year.
Season.
2024.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's still pretty early. It's not. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be that much of a stretch to think that these guys could have big second halves. I mean, look at what Albert did in. I know he's Albert, but he's still the final year. Albert.
He's a machine.
He was. Still, he went great in the first half, and then he gets back after the All-Star break, and he was unbelievable.
He was 40.
What I'm saying is baseball is pretty damn streaky as it is. Is it that much of a stretch to think that Goldschmidt and Arenado can get hot at some point this season?
No, it's not. I think it's possible. I just need to see it.
Yeah.
Then I'll believe it.
I'm with you on that. So to answer the question, I don't think that it's just. I don't think they're just done and that's it. And we can just,
write them off.
They're over. Write them off. They're done. I think it.
What is that, Jamie?
Was that Jamie?
They're done.
Oh.
Seen enough.
You ready?
Listen, I was an aging athlete. Carey, you were too.
Arenado's not that old.
He's done.
He might not be.
Okay, Jamie says they're done, so they might be done. Mm-hmm.
Question number 2.
Marsh, you hit that perfectly.
No, he answered the question.
Answer the question, yeah.
What else do you want from
What do you
him?
want?
What do you want from me?
Tanisha always sends us great questions in the snake pit. Would you rather explore the deep sea or outer space?
Deep sea.
Oh, no.
I feel like there's some stuff down there.
Yeah, some
I'm
stuff
guaranteed.
you do not know.
Yeah.
It didn't say like you wouldn't be like protected.
Right. I'm assuming you're protected.
You could be in a submarine, like a real.
How did that work out?
No.
No.
I'm asking.
How
did
that was one submarine.
And it was like
didn't work out.
And it was like the size of like
a soda can.
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm talking like
a real
those
sub.
big, massive, like where you could have like a nice viewing area.
I don't know, man. I think I'd rather go into outer space.
Yeah, but you're not guaranteed to see anything.
I would see Earth.
I can show you the Earth on Google.
No, because that's the same.
The technology's fantastic.
The pictures nowadays, and they are
do
incredible.
not know. So in a submarine, not
not swimming around.
Oh.
No, because they got stuff down there.
That's what
I want to see that stuff.
But I want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to play with it.
That stuff might be bigger than the submarine.
That's fine. That'd be cooler.
No, it won't when you're in the mouth of it.
Could you imagine seeing like a megalodon or something?
And you're in the mouth of it.
Yeah.
Let me know how it goes when you get out.
Well,
exactly.
Okay, so you go to outer space, and
Yeah.
let's say there's aliens.
Right.
And they want to probe
They
you.
haven't documented those yet,
And
have
they're
they?
probing you,
Nah,
Carey.
okay.
Yeah,
Nah.
over and over and over again.
They can't get enough probing.
Right. One chomp of the megalodon, it's over. That's it.
All right.
I don't want to be probed over and over
Nor
and
do I.
over again by some alien from Jupiter. You know?
It's a far way away.
Do we know if aliens are mean? Do we know?
Do we? That's
don't
a very
know
good question.
anything.
We don't, but we also don't know if the megalodon's going to bite us at that moment. It may have already
Chances
eaten.
are.
It may
I've
have already
seen 2 documentaries where that thing is not nice. But
Meg 2 was yeah, that was a good documentary.
But as long as Jason Statham is on your
around,
side,
you're good.
you're fine.
Absolutely.
You know, karate kick that thing right in the
Yeah,
face.
If need be. Yeah.
I don't. Probably not. Probably have no chance either
That's
way.
fine. Carey, you go to space, you enjoy the view.
You go check out Uranus and you tell me exactly how you like it, okay?
Gator, Anthony goes straight to the probing, LOL. That was Jamie.
That was Jamie.
Wow, we got an interesting text from the 314. You might find aliens in the ocean.
No,
They
I've never
can't-
thought about
you
that.
don't know.
Have you ever seen a documentary where they swim? I don't think so.
No,
You
but
don't know.
I've seen the documentary where their heads are floating in like a water helmet.
Which
It's called
documentary?
Mars Attacks.
See?
Who's seen that?
I haven't seen that doc.
Jamie.
Jamie, yes.
Him. He's the only one.
I saw a documentary once that aliens actually they pee out of their finger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's where Pull My Finger started.
Yeah.
That's what,
You know what? Let's take a short recess. Let's get our thoughts together and let's continue our Sports Six Pack on 101 ESPN. Really, Jamie?
time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
With Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh with the rest of our Sports Six-Pack questions. Question 3, please. Marsh, go.
Question number 3.
All right, we get a question from the 314. What is the best series in any sport that did not go 7 games?
Oh, geez. And ever, Bob?
And ever. Best series that didn't go 7?
What about Joe Carter? Didn't that one go 6?
That was a... Yeah. Sure. I'll be here a while. Thinking about that one.
I'm really thinking here.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I mean... It's very rare that we get stumped on that question.
We don't say anything.
My brain right now is working against itself because I'm thinking of hockey, then I'm thinking of baseball, and then I'm thinking of basketball.
Too. Like, I'm thinking of all of them at like...
It's like literally like if you take a book
around.
and you're like flipping the pages really fast. It's like, but you can't read anything. It's not working
that well.
No.
Let's see here.
I am like...
Maybe some of our listeners could text in and give us some ideas.
Let's see, with hockey, maybe we're thinking in this decade, not decade, but this century, maybe Pittsburgh and Detroit, the first go-around with Sidney Crosby and Marian Hossa. Marian Hossa almost scored to tie the game. That would have forced it to overtime, which then would have made it 7 games, but it went 6.
Got Bulls Jazz 98. Michael Jordan.
That was a good one. Is that when he pushed off?
Yeah. No, he didn't. He just...
What's your problem with him today?
Is that when he shoved Byron?
No, Russell. No,
Russell to the ground.
He was going
him
by.
And had the open shot.
Momentum.
Kicked him.
Good shot. Don't worry about it.
Somebody said the 06 World Series.
I mean, that was not a great... I mean, that was great for the Cardinals fans. That's terrible.
You didn't define why it was great.
Oh, man. My buddy Steve, who's driving out to Kansas, thanks for listening to Steve. He said Bulls, Utah, too. Yeah. That was a great series.
That's a good one. Hey, we got another good one. Steelers 3-0 versus Baltimore.
Not a series.
It's kind of a series
that we're thinking of.
The AFC Championship game, the final one. It was 2008 season.
The Mavs and the Heat.
2011. Yeah, because that's when LeBron and D-Wade were laughing at Dirk, talking about acting like he was sick, and then he just went sick on him.
MJ would never allow that.
No, actually, you're right, Marsha. I mean, MJ wouldn't go to the finals and lose.
Or go to 7 games or 6 games.
I mean, why would he do that? He's an assassin.
Very true.
Yep.
How many finals games did that Bulls team actually lose?
That's a good question.
I just had to.
Did they sweep every series?
No, they didn't sweep.
No.
They went 6 against the
Jazz
twice. The Jazz twice. I think they went 6 against the not the Spurs, the Sonics.
Trailblazers. Didn't they play the Blazers?
They played the Trailblazers. I think they went 6 against the Lakers. Who was the...
Let's see here. I got it.
Suns went 5 or 6.
The Bulls against the Blazers went 5.
5, okay.
Bulls Lakers went 5. Bulls Trailblazers the second time went 6. Bulls Suns. That was a good series too. The Suns series.
Yeah,
that was with Barkley. That went 6.
Yeah.
They went 6 against the Sonics, 6 against the Jazz, 6 against the Jazz.
Yeah.
So they actually lost a handful.
Yeah.
Not that great, you know?
I mean, you won them all, though. That's really all that matters, you know? Fellas?
Very true.
Can't pad those stats, Anthony.
No, not those specifically. Those actually count, Marsh. Not like his Defensive Rookie of the Year. Or not Defensive Rookie, their Defensive Player of the Year. Excuse me.
You guys.
Question number 4.
From the
Carey, anything wrong?
Plenty.
Okay.
All right.
From the 314. Would you agree with locking Brendan Donovan down with a long-term deal this offseason, i.e. Atlanta Braves style extension?
No.
What do you have against Brendan Donovan?
I want him to hit second in the lineup.
Well,
so
why
I
don't
got
you want to
nothing
lock him up for the rest of the season, for the rest of his career?
Why do we
lock
act
him
like...
up, guys? He's not going to be any good.
No, not lock him up in jail or prison.
Here's a question.
Lock him up in terms of
why do we think that every player that has like a good little stretch deserves like Ronald Acuna Jr.?
I don't think they were saying
Ozzie
that type
Albies.
of money. They didn't specify that you pay him
like what?
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Why are you paying it? What? Just
let it play out.
Just let it play out.
Is that reserved for superstar players?
Yes.
So, Anthony, you let it play out right to free agency for him?
Sure.
Clearly.
I think going into the last year of his deal, if he continues to kind of do what he's doing, I think I look to extend him at that point.
Yeah.
He's proving to be more than just like this utility guy.
He's an everyday player.
He's a really good player.
He's a really good player, and he's also become a leader. We've seen with his...
Very true.
You know, the rookie signing all the stuff. Like
Anthony, you give this man some money.
What's he making?
$757,000.
Yeah, you could probably pay him a little bit more than that.
Good call, guys. I'm glad that when they locked up Paul DeYoung and Matt Carpenter to those deals.
Oh,
that worked
Carpenter
out.
was
Oh, wait. And Carlos Martinez. Yeah, so let's just hand out money. That's fine.
So, hey, you know what, Anthony?
That's good.
Whatever
Go ahead,
you
guys.
say. You're right.
No, whatever you guys say.
You're right.
Not my
We're
mic.
wrong.
Give it to him.
We're wrong. You're right. He's going to be a free agent next year. He's got
It's a
arbitration.
free agent next year?
No, he's arbitration. He got arbitration next year.
Listen, Anthony, I'm with you on this because I'm the same guy that said long ago, like, don't extend Jake Neighbors yet either.
Right.
Like,
he's done it more years than Jake
I
Neighbors
agree.
has.
Just it's a loose comparison.
Okay.
Jeez, Gary, just
along.
back.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even get finished. His teeth were soaking in the back of my neck.
Sorry.
I apologize. Get him off.
I got a point to make. Please get him off.
We got a text from the 314. I love how people keep asking this question, expecting Anthony to flip-flop.
Right. Thank you, Texter.
Oh, he will.
I won't.
He doesn't want to pay anybody.
John, Anthony Moe has handed out over $400 million in bad contracts. What's it going to hurt? John from the Snake Pit.
That's not wrong.
Well done.
You know.
Yeah. Let's just pump the brakes. Let it play out. He'll make money in arbitration. He'll get a bump.
How much? 2.5 million.
Hey, that's a lot of money.
No,
I don't know
I'm
where
not
you're from,
sneezing
but
at
2.5
that.
months. Hey, Gary, can't all be Super Bowl champions playing the NFL,
Listen,
making millions.
I would have gladly signed that.
I'll take it.
Sign me up. How soon can I get there?
I went full sports fan that feels as though that every athlete makes just $250 million.
They all think that.
Yeah.
Or 2.5 million.
Question number 5.
Yeah.
This one comes from Hockey Bob. So to piggyback on what Carey said about the Patriots being a hated team, which NFL franchise is more hated, the Patriots or America's team?
The Cowboys. Everybody hates the Cowboys.
Are you sure?
No, I mean, other than people in Dallas.
I mean, I know.
And then they call themselves
hated,
America's team. Like nobody.
Right.
People don't. I don't know if they really believe that. But I think Dallas is the most hated NFL franchise.
Even with the Patriots doing their thing, I felt like
because the Patriots have a right.
Nobody cared.
Well,
after December about the Cowboys.
But the Patriots have a right to be arrogant and conceited. They won 6 championships. Like the Cowboys ain't won nothing in 20. Where are we at now? Almost 30 years.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
90,
but
93?
people get tired. People always get tired
95?
of the winning. You're right.
I get more tired of people saying, "Oh, this is the year." It ain't the year. It ain't been the year in 30 years. It's not. People don't get mad at the Bears. They ain't won since '85. You know why? Because the damn Bears don't say every year, "This is our year."
Well, the Bears fans know. Bears fans are loyal.
Should the Cowboy fans?
Bears fans are real loyal. That's
Cowboy
a great
fans
fan
should
base.
know.
They're like, we know.
You know you're from there.
We're not going to win. Am I?
I think. Somewhere.
We don't know.
We're still
we just keep trying to
figure it
guess.
It's like The Simpsons.
Springfield.
What's Springfield?
Question number 6.
From the 573, drivers who are pulling anything speeding on the highway in and out of traffic are insane and need slapped across the face. Anthony, your thoughts?
Wow. In and out of
the old bob and weave.
The old
baby.
bob and weave?
Yeah.
Hand or no hand?
No hand. This is different. Bob and weave out of traffic.
Oh,
Yeah, but
no, they get him out. yeah. I'm with you, Texter. Absolutely. No hand, no, hey, sorry about that.
Nah.
What if
Had
you're
that
just
happen to
being
me
an
today.
a-hole anyways, but you just put the hand up thinking it's fine
Well, that's called a disingenuous hand, and
But how
that's
do you
not
know that?
appreciated. You know.
How many times have you been cut off and pulled up next to the person that cut you off? Handful? More? Guilty.
Oh, for sure. Now, I feel like we've had this conversation
The answer
before.
is yes.
Are you giving him the bird, or are you
I
giving
don't
him a
give- no,
I
thumbs
roll
up?
down
I'm giving
window.
the plover.
I always roll down the window
I'm gonna beat you.
and I ask them about their feelings.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice of you. Yeah.
No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing.
Pull over. All right. Are you less worried? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna phrase this way. Jamie posed a question today about 2 Cardinals players that I thought was fascinating. That's next on 101 ESPN. to ESPN. We have your chance to score tickets to see Green Day and Rancid on August 15th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Text in Win Tickets now at 314-399-9646. We'll give you that trivia question in a second. You can also find all the ticket details and a bonus chance to score free tickets to Green Day and Rancid at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 ESPN mobile app. Marsh decided over the last couple of nights for Bet the Board to wager on which league. Which league did Marsh decide in Bet the Board to wager on? If you have the correct answer.
He's found a loophole.
You have the correct answer.
You found a loophole.
Text in right now to Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. And if you're the 101st texter, then you're going to go see Green Day and Rancid. Speaking of Marsh, I tried to give the credit to Jamie, but Marsh, I apologize. It was actually Marsh's question, which I thought was fascinating. Marsh, why don't you pose it so I give you the proper credit here?
All right, so the question is, are you less worried about Jordan Walker's status within the organization because of Masyn Winn's performance this season?
I think it is fascinating because I think it's spot on. If Masyn Winn, if he's not doing what he's doing now, I think we're talking about Jordan Walker's development or lack thereof way more right now.
Marshy, what did I say to you in the office when you brought it up?
He's a smokescreen.
Said he's a smokescreen for the fact that Jordan Walker hasn't played the way everybody thought.
100%. We're barely talking about Walker.
No, really.
Well, he's not here. We gotta worry about him when he comes back.
It was supposed to be the other way around, where Walker was here and Winn would struggle.
Right.
So by Winn playing well, we're not as concerned, or are you more excited about the possibilities because Masyn Winn was there essentially an entire season last year?
Yeah.
Came up, at the end, and now Jordan Walker is getting that opportunity to correct some things that were broken in his swing and in his play while he was here.
I think it's a great distraction for the Cardinals to have somebody who's playing so well that the focus is on, wow, Masyn Winn, what a young talent, could be Rookie of the Year. And most of the time when I'm watching things online and talking, they're not like, man, it's a shame that Jordan Walker is back down in AAA, and, you know, I'm worried about him, and maybe he can't correct his swing. People aren't talking. I mean, some people might be, but they're really not, because Masyn Winn is here. It's like look over here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always the way to go.
Could you imagine if Winn was hitting 200 and they decided to send him down and it's Brandon Crawford from majority of the time at shortstop?
It would be.
Every conversation would be centered on
tough.
The lack of development. It wouldn't be necessarily on Winn and Walker. It would be solely on the Cardinals. It would be this organization can't develop young players. But I think you're right, Jamie. Winn producing, or Marsh, Winn producing, it has alleviated a lot of the, what's going on with Walker? What's wrong with him? Why is this, that? And it has allowed him to actually have a season at AAA, which Winn got a year ago.
Yeah.
It has taken a lot of the pressure, I think, off. At least not the pressure. The conversation is not centered now on Jordan Walker because of it.
Yeah, because you're right, Anthony. If Masyn Winn was struggling-ish and Walker was back down at Memphis, the conversation would be a couple things. Well, one, what's wrong with Walker?
Yep.
Like, what's happened to him? And two, what's wrong with the Cardinals and their scouting and their developing?
100%.
Because these two guys are supposed to be can't-miss prospects. Walker, in particular, was like the next baseball god coming up. Well, you saw his prospect reports and all these things. And, and it's not that he may not get there at some point. I don't know. He's so young. I'm not ready to just paint him with the brush saying, this guy's not going to do well.
Yeah.
But he's had a speed bump in his development here.
Totally.
But Masyn Winn hasn't. He's thrived. So it's been a nice distraction and a needed thing for the Cardinals to have Masyn Winn playing so well. Because you're right, the backup plan was Brandon Crawford, which, there's nothing wrong with the crawdaddy.
He made a play last night.
Per se, but he's no Masyn Winn.
No, not at all.
Who is?
No, you're right.
Nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does help having Masyn Winn play because you are, like you said, you are not worried or as concerned. But I think it also helps that, you haven't had really any issues in the outfield. You had some injuries, but the guys that have been out there playing, Donovan, you've had Siani, who's played really good defense in center field, Burleson, who has played really well despite, the hiccup he had a couple of nights ago in Miami. He's played really well throwing out guys. So it helps that those guys are performing at the level defensively and offensively, minus Siani, that they are playing as well as they are, because now you're not as worried or as concerned about not having Jordan Walker here. Mm-hmm. So I think it all helps.
Do you guys think the offense? Do you still have faith in the offense based on the fact that we haven't seen Wilson Contreras in a while? You're going to get Contreras back.
I think Wilson Contreras is going to be fine.
At some point, Nootbaar's going to return. Do you still have some optimism?
It's like a trade, Anthony.
No, Carey, it's
like
not.
a blockbuster.
It's really
you get those guys back in your lineup. It's like a trade.
Tommy Edman,
Wilson Contreras, Lars Nootbaar. You made a trade.
Steven Matz.
Look at that brand new team.
What'd you give up for that, Carey?
Nothing.
Boy, sign
nothing.
Me up.
Give up a 5-year, $85 million contract. That's what you gave up for that.
Oh, that's just money. You didn't lose a player, though.
Nah. You focus on what we're talking about here, sir.
Do you guys still have more optimism?
I said it the other day
optimism.
when Carey just about attacked me.
What?
I said, well, if those guys come back, F. You got really angry, Carey.
I don't recall.
Yeah. You called them the St. Louis Ifs.
Did I?
I remember.
It was a little traumatizing.
Sometimes I black out and don't recall what I'm saying. Oh, that was you. Okay. Wait, did I?
No, I think if those guys come back and they can, if Wilson Contreras within a week to 10 days contributes the way he was, because I'm not expecting him to step right back in. He might just go right back to where he was. Well, that's great. Nootbaar, if you're getting a healthy Lars Nootbaar, your team obviously is better. Tommy Edman comes back and helps for sure. This team looks This team looks a lot different, which I said the other day. I said we haven't really seen Mo's true vision for this team because guys have been hurt.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get everybody back and they're playing a close enough version to what they're supposed to, I think things look different. That's just my opinion.
I agree. I think, if I'm interested to see if Tommy Edman, what he looks like when he comes back. I think defensively he'll be as good as what we've seen from Siani, but at the plate, that could be a difference maker. Obviously,
that's going to be huge.
It would definitely help, because at the bottom of the lineup, you're essentially saying, this is going to be an out. I mean, it's been that way with Victor Scott. Yeah, when Victor Scott was there, he was struggling. Michael Siani had some moments, but he's struggling.
Yeah.
And then you get Wilson Contreras back, and now you can have Ivan Herrera in the lineup, like you talked about earlier. You're probably going to keep Paez on the roster, and so you'll have 3 catchers. But you got those 2 bats in the lineup. You don't really want Herrera behind the plate, but you do want his bat to play every single day if you can. So your lineup got better. I don't think you can't play both of them, Paez and Herrera, right now, because you only got 2 catchers. Something happens, you're in a bad situation. But with all 3 of those guys, I think it makes the lineup better. It makes your team better. And if the pitching can hold and keep performing in the way that they have, you could be looking at a team that could make a push.
Yeah, getting Tommy Edman back and putting him in center field, replacing Siani's bat and nothing against Siani. Nobody saw him coming.
Right.
He's played very well defensively.
Very well.
You're getting next to nothing out of him offensively. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
I know he's hit a couple of home runs recently, but overall, it's not great at all. If you get Edman back, that is a huge bump.
Where is the concern in the lineup other than the obvious? Arenado and Goldie. Which I mean, is Gorman? Are those 3 your concern? Gorman, Arenado,
have to be
Goldie.
Well, for me at least, Gorman's going to run into one.
Yeah, but that doesn't concern you that he has I think he hit 7 home runs in May, was it?
Mm-hmm. He's still
it's so
leading the
up
team in home
but
runs.
it's literally hit or miss.
But he is a pure power guy.
But Carey, he's leading your team in home runs, right?
Yeah, but he ain't hit. When's the last one?
But he's hitting more than everybody else, is what I'm saying.
He hit one against Miami a couple of days ago.
Okay, so I know that Schwarber is always the comparison.
Yeah.
I'll take somebody that's not as comparable. Anthony Santander for the Orioles. He had a stretch where he's terrible, and over the last couple of weeks, he's hit like 10 home runs. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's why I would bat him 5th.
I hate it because it.
But what do you have to replace that?
I don't like the swing and miss. I've never been a fan of feast or famine. Like we're either going to hit a home run or we're going to strike out. I hate that approach.
Your favorite play? That's why your favorite player is always Tony Gwynn.
Always. You don't have to hit over the fence, baby. Just hit it. Get it on the ground and get on base. You're going to probably come around and score at some point. Like I love that part of baseball. This, to me, it drives me crazy because when you need it the most, you're gonna strike out. And then you're like, well, that just comes with it. Okay, we'll deal with it. Nah, it's runners on second and third, and it's the bottom of the ninth. Kind of need them to make contact.
Yeah. I don't appreciate you using my voice that way like that. That was tough. That was pretty tough to hear.
Was that him? Yeah, sorry.
It's pretty tough to hear as a truth.
Yeah. We all sound different than we know.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah. There you go.
No, you bring up a good point. Unfortunately, that's just the way the game is right now.
Man, stupid game. Stupid way to play.
All right, can the Blues be creative with their cap space? We'll get into that next. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. Well, can the Blues be creative with their cap space? STLtoday.com put together a list that talks about the Blues cap space, flexibility, impact on their offseason moves, things like that. Jamie, from your perspective, can the Blues get creative with their cap space? And if they can, how does that look? And where are areas that Doug Armstrong can get a little creative with things?
Well, look, he's got a lot of. He's going to have a lot of money available to him once everything gets finalized with free agency. You got the Scandella money coming off the books. You got the Kapanen money coming off the books, and you probably have a few more guys that maybe you're not. Sammy Blais. These are guys that, they're coming off the books. Now, he's going to have to re-up with Nikita Alexandrov if he wants to keep his rights. What that looks like is probably not a lot of money there. And you also have, whereas Alexei Toropchenko, he's got one more year left before restricted free agency. I don't know if Army looks to try and extend him at a modest price, which he probably would. He'd probably play the waiting game on that. But the one big thing that has been talked about here a lot, and Marsh, I know you perused this article as well, is a lot of people alluding to the fact that Doug Armstrong might throw out an offer sheet. So all that is so we take a restricted free agent and be like the Cardinals have players up for arbitration, their first year of ARB.
Right.
Still under team control, but imagine if another team could come in and just offer a deal, bam, and the player accepts it. Now the Cardinals have to match whatever that team offered the player, and sometimes it's an uncomfortable number, something you're not willing to do.
Yeah.
You do get draft picks in return as compensation. So it is a fair process, but it's a real gutsy move by the GM that's offering a restricted free agent. So Army would be a ballsy move by Army.
Something that might be frowned upon, yet
could be
not illegal.
Yeah, and Marshy, when you went through, you threw some numbers at me there. You threw like the compensation and whatnot, going through it. What does that look like if Army, like you brought the Natchez situation?
Oh, yes, the Marty Natchez thing. Let me pull that up real quick because that's been a name that has been sort of, what would you say? It's just
bandied about.
People are talking
in
about
a lot of different areas that he could be a guy that the Hurricanes are not sure on.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Let me pull this up. I found it. Here we go. So this is per cap friendly. There are teams with draft picks to pull off the most plausible Marty Natchez offer sheet, which could include a first, second, third for $6.9 million to $9.1 million. The Blues are one of those teams that could fall into that, but I think they're going to have like $4 million to really work with. I don't know if that's necessarily plausible, and I also don't know if he really fits in with this team.
Yeah, so a guy like Marty Natchez, I personally, he's 25 years old, coming off a pretty good season. He's a scoring type winger for you, and last season he had 53 points in 77 games, so he's not blowing you away. But the year before he had 71 points in 82 games. He'd be a second-line player for you. But the cost of doing business on this one, I just don't know if the return is good enough. His AAV last year was 1.4. So what would you have to offer to get him to jump from the Carolina Hurricanes?
Yeah, that I don't know. I also don't know what Josh is doing next door.
I didn't know what the heck you were doing. I was like,
is he knocking on the door?
Yeah,
I know he's in the snake pit. Josh, we can hear you knocking.
Yeah, like they're drumming or something like that. That I don't know.
Yeah, but then, for Doug Armstrong, is it worth the cost of doing business when it comes to the draft picks as well?
Probably not.
To come with that. I just don't think that's the player. Now, I'd have to circle through and do a lot more homework and find, because there's so many restricted free agents, you'd have to find the perfect fit.
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting that, Jeremy Rutherford brought it up, that, now Matthew DeFranks kind of has it out there. And Doug Armstrong himself, when doing his media availability, said, there's also offer sheets that go out there. And I thought that to be somewhat random for Army to bring up.
So pardon me, I said $4 million, and I meant to say what Matthew DeFranks has in here is $7 million to $7.5 million on the cap. They could potentially have that, but he also dives into potentially looking at a depth forward in their middle six that would cost around $4 million.
Yeah, so this would be that type of player, and with the restricted free agency on him, he still would be under team control, but the offer you gave him would probably be a substantial offer. It would probably be a 6, 7, maybe even 8-year deal, because why else would the player accept the offer sheet at that point?
Yeah.
So it's a windy road when you get into those situations. And look, at the end of the day, Army's going to have to get creative, no matter what. Even if he has the $7 million in cap space, he's going to have to still get creative because he has to field a competitive team. This team, in my opinion, the Blues team can't take steps backwards next year. Like, you can't go from being that team that just missed the playoffs to then being like last again in the division.
Yeah. Another thing that was brought up real quick in the article is retaining salary. We've seen Detroit do that. They did that with us, with the Blues when, they're making moves and stuff. That could also be a potential thing to happen. But like Jamie said, if the Blues are in that mode of wanting to win now, I don't know if they're going to retain salary for draft picks that ultimately don't help you next season.
Yeah, so that's what Steve Yzerman did. They call it the Yzer plan up in Detroit. And it was really smart. He had a ton of cap space, and they were rebuilding, so tanking for, like, in baseball people, like, they weren't tanking, but they weren't trying to win.
Right.
So he would be the broker. He'd say, "Oh, you only have $4 million cap space. I've got $20 million in cap space. I'll trade for that player, and then I'll eat 50% of his contract so he fits under your cap.
Right.
But you're going to give me a first-round pick for that."
Gotcha.
That's what the Browns did. Remember the one year the Browns did it, I think, with Brock Osweiler?
That wasn't a good choice.
They took on, but they took on the bad contracts so that, and I think it was the Browns. They took on the bad contracts so that they would get the draft pick compensation for it. I thought that was the case. But anyways, it's not a bad move.
The Blues are not in that situation because they're not in rebuild mode.
Right. It's not a bad move, though, for those types of teams.
What is the we talked about the defenseman. We talked about, maybe getting a player. What is the most critical need for them to be a better team? Is there a move that needs to be made? Do you trust some of these prospects, or do you actually have to go out and get a guy that can help this team via free agency or via trade?
I think you got to get a second-line center.
And Dalibor Dvorsky is not that.
You don't know. So
what if he? So I guess
that's the Cardinals relying upon Jordan Walker being their star player. Well, look what happened. He's not quite ready.
Correct.
So then that
Do you
would
think
be,
that they think that maybe there's a possibility that he could be Dalibor Dvorsky?
Yeah,
could
but even
be
then,
that?
you bring him on your team, you let him play wing, then to start. Like Robert Thomas played wing almost a full first season until he, learned more, played better defensively, got his feet wet. Whatever terminology you want to use, there's no downside to it. Or even the guy you bring in, you can move him to the wing.
Gotcha.
It doesn't matter.
But there has to be somebody, a veteran player.
A second line center for me, and a top 4 left-handed shot defenseman. I think that's what you need.
Yep.
Nick Leddy had a nice season last year. I like Nick Leddy. I think he's a good skater, moves the puck very well. But if you had player X, Y, or Z that is ahead of him playing with Colton Parayko, and then Leddy plays with a Justin Falk, and then Torrey Krug with a Matt Kessel, which they had very good success together last year, that blue line looks healthier to me.
Yeah. All right, we got the biggest question of the day next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals defeated the San Francisco Giants last night at Rickwood Field, a final score of 6-5. They have today off, but they'll take on the Giants once again tomorrow as Miles Michaelis will take the mound. Going up against Jordan Hicks. First pitch is at 1:15. The Florida Panthers, they'll try again to win the Stanley Cup. Game 6 is tonight. You can listen to it right here on 101 ESPN. Pre-game starts at 6:30. Panthers and Oilers. Also, if you've missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. And before we get to our biggest question of the day, I want to wish my daughter Madeline a very happy 8th birthday. She turns 8 today. I know that my wife Kristen, my sons Killian and Lincoln are listening, but Madeline, I love you. Happy birthday. She got up about, I think, 4 a.m. this morning.
Oh, excited.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. Kristen and I I like rolled over and there was Madeline, wide awake, ready to go.
Happy birthday.
So happy birthday, sweetie.
That's awesome.
Got
Happy
the party
birthday,
tomorrow,
man.
so we're excited about it. So happy birthday.
What's the theme?
Pelicans.
Yeah, Pelicans. Go Pelicans.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
So Jamie, when the kids were in preschool, Marsh, Jamie and BT, when BT was still on the show, I would ask that they would have certain theme days at preschool. So Blues theme day, Cardinals theme day, and I would always, Kristen would be like, hey, do you think that Jamie and Brad would do a video that I can send to the school? Absolutely. Those guys are fantastic, right? And so I shot Jamie here on the used my cell phone, and Jamie gave an awesome like, hey, go Blues. It's Jamie Rivers from the Blues. I know you guys are excited about the Blues day, and whatever. And at the very end, he goes, go Pelicans. And I stopped the video and I said, dude, that was awesome. They're the Flamingos.
I was like, oh no. All right, take two.
Take 2. Go Flamingos. Yeah, that was awesome. So he was at Jamie, but the key there is that Jamie is always gracious, and so is BT.
Oh, yeah.
So, the Snake Pit also chiming in with some happy birthday, Madeline. So thank you guys.
That's awesome.
Thank you. All right, go for it, Marsh.
All right, so last night I stumbled upon a video of Bryce Harper, and he was on the Phillies show about 2 weeks ago, and what he said in this clip I'm about to play, I found to be really cool, and I want to hear your take on this. So I'm going to play it, and then I'll ask the question.
He would go buy the best baseballs in the store, and it'd be like Baden or like A1010, just so that we had pearls so that we could hit the ball as far as we could. He wanted us to have the confidence in everything that we did. So like I'd go deep on a 200-foot fence, and I'd go 225 feet, 230 feet. But these baseballs were hard as a rock, just like professional baseballs, right? And so, we'd go into 300-foot fences, and I'm like 12, and I'm going deep on 300-foot fences, and it's like going 335. And I'd be like, gosh, dang, dude, these balls are jumping, And so, like, as I got older, I was thinking, I'm like sitting there going, Dad, why? I never knew. And he goes, why I did that? He said, because I wanted you to have the confidence to go deep in any park that you hit. No matter if it was a high school ballpark or a little league ballpark or anything else. I wanted you to have the confidence. And it doesn't, I don't care. He goes, I'll never blink and wish I had that money back, because I wanted to instill that confidence in everything that you did when you were younger, no matter what. And so I always thought that was pretty cool.
So you guys are great fathers, great coaches, of course. How do you create confidence and competitiveness in the youth?
Man, that's a great story by Bryce Harper.
Yeah. So like my dad didn't do something quite like that, but he wanted my brother and I to be competitive. He didn't want us to just like to win. He wanted us to hate losing more. And so every time we play any kind of a game, he never let us win. And when he beat us, he'd rub it in. You'd be crying. He'd be like, yeah. Basically,
do better.
He'd be like, you're going to have to learn how to win, son. No, it's too bad. You want to play again? Sure, yeah. And bury us again. He'd be like, that's too bad, son. Be in tears and like trying to break stuff. And then when we'd win, he eventually got to a point where he let us win just once. It was close enough to where he let us win. And the exhilaration, yes, you know, and then he's like, I knew then that you guys would be competitors. I knew that you wouldn't want to lose. And so like, that was kind of sick and twisted a little bit, but it made us like uber competitive.
Yeah.
As far as the confidence goes, I deal with it on a daily basis at these, you know, the Synergy hockey skills camps. These kids, you just have to make it a little easier sometimes. Let them succeed. Let them succeed. Like when you're doing skill development stuff, like I'm not talking about the competitive side of it, but when you're doing skill development, you want it to be in stages for me. So like the first time I'm out with a kid, I see where they're at and I go, okay, so here's where we're at. I'm going to push the envelope just a bit and the kid's going to fail. It's going to fail. But you encourage them after, hey, it's all right. Don't worry about falling. Don't worry about missing the net. Don't worry about losing the puck. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. And then you change the drill, but it's really the same drill.
Yeah.
Change the look of it, but it's really the same skills, but you make it just a bit easier. And the kid then succeeds, and then you're like, just like that. Boom. And then you go back to the original state where it's like back to a little more difficult, but now they have the confidence, they're handling the puck, they're using their edges, and then you just continue to build within that player's skill set. You keep pushing the envelope just a little bit each time to where they don't know, like they look back, the starting point was all the way back here, and now they're all the way over here, but it didn't feel that way.
Yeah, sure.
I think showing them, like you said, showing them how far they've come. You know, I work with my son a lot, and when we first started, he couldn't catch anything. And he would get so frustrated. And then now he can catch the ball really well. And then you go to a new skill, and he struggles with that. And then you remind him, dude, you couldn't catch at first, right?
Yeah,
You were terrible at it, but look at you now because you worked on it. And so just continuously, and then giving him positive reinforcement. Like I'm hard on my son when he's like, if he's pouting, or if I'm the same way your dad was with you. I never let him win. Like I want him, and if he cries, he cries. So what? You'll deal with it. You'll be better for it.
Yeah.
Because when you do win, like we might play horse or we might play around the world, and when he does win, I gotta hear it. But so what? That's fine, because I want you to understand, like, losing is part of it, but learning how to lose is part of it. But then when you do win, you should be excited, but also know how to win. So just the process of going through all the phases, getting better every single day, every single way you can. And then for me, my son is when I do congratulate him, when I do give him a little pat on the butt and say, good job, that's what he like gives a little wry smile, like, okay, all right, I can do this. And so I think that's even with the players you coach, it's the same thing. There's going to be a process where it will be hard, but eventually you'll master that part of it, and now learning on to the next step. It's going to be hard again, but eventually you'll master that and keep going forward and keep getting better.
Yeah. And there's something I call it training the brain. And I will go back. This is something that we did growing up. Is we had, you know, the outdoor rink, and we didn't have the fancy shooter tutor, as they call them, or the fake goalie where it has the spots to hit. We had a big piece of plywood that laid up against the net. My dad had cut holes in the corners to where that's where you shoot to score the goals. Well, he cut the holes, and they cut them rather big. So kind of like the Bryce Harper thing. So we'd be shooting the puck, able to score. And then, you know, he said, oh, I made you a new one. And we didn't know it, but he was shrinking the holes.
Yeah.
Until a point where now you're picking the corners left and right, and the hole is just like a real game. Like something you could barely see to score the goal. And I always thought, okay, how do we duplicate that? Because it's training your brain to see, to use that skill, to succeed in that. Because if your brain doesn't know how to succeed in those moments, if you can't process, because the brain controls everything.
Right.
So if the brain can't process how you succeed at that, then you'll never be able to do it.
Yeah.
So it's better to make it a little bit easier, and you learn how to get it in that area. Then you make it a little small, and the brain will adjust.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why I tell the kids, hey, we're training the brain today. It's not supposed to be all easy.
Right.
And
that's great.
It's like repetitious then.
Yeah. You got to celebrate the small victories too. Like I remember just, I haven't been coaching for very long now, but when they're young and they're just learning something and you're trying to drill it into them, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it like this, do it like that. You kind of forget, like, you're teaching them, but you're also nitpicking. You're like failed. But when you get to a point where it clicks for them or they do something great, you got to go over the top with it. That is a huge thing. I'll get loud. I'll say, "Are you kidding me? Great job! High five, whatever."
That was like
great.
It's worth it.
Exactly, or else it's just. It's just a series of failures, and and then what? They do it right, and you go, okay, yeah, do it again.
Well, that's good, but it could have been better.
Right? No, celebrate it. Man. That's fantastic. Yeah.
For me, it's the repetition, man. Like doing the small detailed things. Like for football, it's always starting behind the line. Don't start with your foot on the line. And those small why? Because it's a false start, or it's an offsides,
right?
Or the more tired you get, the less you remember to do those, and that's just reinforcing that thing over and behind the line. You're like, it doesn't matter. No, it does.
It does. Yeah.
Eventually, touch the line, because that's the difference of getting all the way to the goal line or finishing that rep as opposed to just going halfway. So it's just those mental reps that you do over and over again. And then, like you said, when they do it right, pat them on. Good job. That's the rep I've been waiting
your
on.
Successes.
Yes. You have to. Yep.
Absolutely. Otherwise, why is it worth it?
Right.
Absolutely. All right. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Fade or follow, bet the board. 3 stars of the day. We do need a new fade or follow contestant too. So if you want to text into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646, the word fade or follow, text in. You have an opportunity to play next in the Fast Lane.
It's time for FanDuel Fade or Follow on the Fast Lane.
Brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
Everyone follow us.
I'll fade. Money, 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 money.
All right, time to play Fade or Follow here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, and we welcome in Matt. What's up, Matt?
Oh, not too much. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. Here's how it's going to work. I don't know if you're familiar with FanDuel's Fade or Follow or not, but we'll give you a play. Then you decide whether or not you're going to fade or follow us. If you win, you get $50 of FanDuel's money. You come back next week. If you lose, well, at least, hey, you had your shot. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, Jamie, I think you should deliver our play.
Oh.
Why?
Good. So he can break down why.
I'm just joking.
We absolutely love.
Hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry. It's Friday.
Wow. Carey's like, why would you?
Why do you get to do it?
Yeah. Well, I'll try. And if it's not sufficient,
you might be. Well, let's see what you say, and then I'll go.
Game 6, Stanley Cup final tonight. We got the Oilers and the Panthers. And Panthers are minus 102. Oilers are minus 118. I don't think the Oilers can win 3 in a row. I think the Panthers are done with all this. I think they want that cup tonight. We're going with the Florida Panthers minus 102 tonight.
Would you like to fade us or follow us, Matt?
I am definitely following y'all.
Nice.
All right.
Excellent. All right, well, Panthers win tonight. You'll be back next Friday, and you'll be up $50 of FanDuel's money. Sound good?
That sounds great because I'm out of FanDuel money.
Oh, there we go. All right, Matt. Hey, have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. And again, hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you. There you go. There's Fade or Follow. By the way, if you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or the 101 ESPN mobile app. All brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to play Bet the Board. Marsh.
You guys are going to hate this. Jamie is now 9-5. He's dropped 5 in a row.
Yep.
We're going to hate that?
Well, no, we are not going to hate this. Anthony, you are 7-7.
All right.
And so am I.
Oh.
Carey, you are 6-7-1.
Ah, change. It's today.
I have really taken
You're
a
allowing me. You're allowing us back into
I know.
this
I
thing.
don't know why. That's not my style. I'd rather tap dance on your grave, quite honestly.
Carey, you're allowing me. You're allowing us.
I was there last. So I was thinking about myself.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
You all are allowing me back into this.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not Marsh, though. Marsh is...
Has he been rolling?
Yeah, he's run like 19 in a row here.
By the way...
His WNBA picks have to be investigated.
I think
won
so.
yesterday.
Well, nobody's checking them. That's the problem.
Well, this is... What'd you pick? Sabrina Ionescu over
6.5 assists. She had 9 last night.
Good thing we trust Marsh.
Points.
You know?
No.
We trust him.
Caitlin Clarkin over in rebounds a couple of games ago.
She had 6 in the second quarter.
He's excited about that.
Yeah.
All right, you're still in the lead.
Jamie, you're in the
Mr.
lead,
Rivers,
man.
What you got?
So I had 2 plays in my head tonight. Obviously, I'm thinking Panthers on this one. But then I was doing some baseball investigating, too.
Oh, here you go.
And the Braves play the Yankees tonight. The Yankees have lost 2 in a row. The Yankees are too good to lose 3 in a row.
You know what?
At home, too. They're minus 108. Carlos Rodon on the bump. I'm going with the Yankees. That's my play.
Mr. Rivers.
What?
Good pick.
You were going to do that one?
I don't know. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
You don't sound okay.
It's bad.
Second time he's taking the Yankees from me. Last time he lost.
Well, I didn't know they were yours.
You didn't? Yeah, clearly. Duh.
All right, is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
Since you guys both like the Yankees, give me the Braves minus 108.
That works well for me.
Okay, tough guy. You didn't fade me because you got to try and catch up, hey, buddy? Okay.
Where are you going, Marshy?
That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
It's a great
exactly
play.
what I'm trying to do.
The W.
I am not going to the W. I'm not, which I probably should because I've been on a roll. I'm going with a pick that has yet to hit, However, like I said the other day, I think I'm single-handedly keeping the Oilers alive. Give me Sergei Bobrovsky to save the first 10 shots he faces. It is not at minus 115 anymore. It is now at plus 110.
Wow. Okay.
The first shot of the game.
Yeah.
He did that, didn't he? A couple games ago?
Yep.
Yeah, first one. Now, his defenseman ran over him, pushed him into the corner.
Happens.
Either way.
You've never done that before, Jamie?
I don't know if I've ever taken my goalie out. I'm sure I have.
You have accidentally.
Oh, I've done some stupid stuff. Yeah, I've scored on my own net a couple times. That feels great.
It's like the worst feeling in the world.
This isn't my net.
You want to
crawl under
dig
the
a
ice.
hole in the ice and find your way into that hole.
Never to be seen for the rest of the day, at least.
No, I remember scoring on Grant Fuhr one time, and I was taking away like the backdoor play, and the pass came zipping across, and I got my stick there like to block the pass, but deflected right into the net. He waits till the next time I come on the ice, and I go over like to tap his pads. Like, it's Grant Fuhr, the guy's like future Hall of Famer at that point. I'm like, hey man, I'm really sorry. He's like, oh no, that was great. He goes, it's the nicest goal you've ever scored. Because he's got a high pitch voice. Oh, that's fine. That's the nicest goal you've ever scored. I was like, thanks, Fiercey.
That just shows how loose he was in between the pipes.
He was so great for a young defenseman. Like, he made us feel comfortable, and even when you made a bad play, he would like kind of laugh at you and poke fun at you, and it was good. He was good for me.
That's awesome.
I'm going to go. I haven't picked yet.
Go for it.
I'm going to go over in the Panthers-Oilers game, because, again, if it gets hairy late, somebody might score a couple of empty netters. You know? Yeah. Somebody's trying to.
Season's on the line.
Somebody's got to score and win.
What is that, 5.5?
5.5, yeah.
Right on. There you go.
Give me 6 goals.
All right, Marshy. Criticisms, compliments.
Yeah, we'll get to a few here, and then we'll get to our 3 stars of the day. From the 618, great segment on coaching, fellas.
Oh, appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Coach is in here. You know, that's.
Again.
From the 314, guys, just got home. Boss was no radio, no earbuds guy. We don't like that.
Nah.
No,
just tuned in and wanted to state that Reggie Jackson is my hero for his wonderful and courageous words, all words last night. Love y'all too.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. We, and if you missed that, we did talk about that in the opening segment tonight. So.
All right, our 3 stars of the day to end the week. Our 3rd star of the day goes to the nebulizer.
Yeah, the nebulizer. All right.
Yeah. Trying to get your asthma treatment.
Our 2nd star of the day goes to Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks. Nice job, Jamie.
The 3 other people that saw it.
Yeah. Apparently it's a good movie.
It's an unbelievable documentary. You guys will thank me later.
Appreciate it.
And our 1st star of the day goes to Rickwood Field and Major League Baseball for putting on an awesome event last night.
Absolutely. Nice job. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you for listening. Thank you for checking us out throughout the course of the week. Oilers, Panthers pregame at 6:30. Instant replay coming up at 6. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Have a great weekend. See ya.